here's the gear. We're going to pre-pot all this stuff on the right-hand side, shove it in the bank, and grab out restores. The brew count can vary from 5 to 8, depending on how confident you are and how many mistakes you think you make, as can the one bastion. That can also get knocked down to 1. The rest of the gear is pretty standard. You don't want to bring any more switches. You don't want to bring any tank gear. Ring of Suffering is fine, but I don't recommend it unless you are taking like 30-40 attempts to get a cape. But at the end of the day, this is what you should really be running. You can downgrade, all in the YouTube comments stuff, description thing, so check it out if you're unsure. Let's jump in. These runs are always with a focus on very simple souls and just making it so that the Inferno is really anything but scary. The content is often seen as really high level or super difficult, but the reality is it's not that, well, it's pretty straightforward and it's not that difficult. Players tend to make problems for themselves more so than the content does for them. So in this run, a lot of it's going to just end up being standing still, which solves a wave. And you'd be surprised how many waves are just solved simply by not doing anything. The plugins for the NPCs disappearing is Entity Hider. I recommend it. Other than that, tile markers don't really matter too much. You can grab the Zuck ones from just about anywhere. So for these early waves, we're always going to be sticking close to North Pillar, and we're sending 1 barrage. Now, for waves where there are NPCs like just a singular bat, make sure you got your quick press, or just keep your press open and just walk up to it and smack it in the head. You also don't need your shield on for these waves, so just 1 barrage and then click a bat, and really just get through these waves. You just camp range spray the entire time, you have a lot of restore, and just be aggressive. If there's only one of the NPC, then it's like a simple prey style, not a blob, then just go up to it and kill it. Don't be afraid. After 2 NPCs converge, you get double nibblers, so we're just going to send barrages. Maybe wait for these guys to clump up a bit and then go for it. And we always try and finish with blowpipe. So, on the pillar. And our blob is safe spotted, so standing still has solved the wave. Nice and simple. There are different blobs for different areas. In particular, this one, we're going to come out and kill it, and then we're going to run towards it and kill it from this tile here, so when it dies, we're standing next to it for the clump. This is how you deal with blobs. When you're dealing with one, from far away, you got to switch your prayers, right? When it first sees you, that's fine. After the projectile hits you, switch your prayer, and it will be on time. You can do it a tick before it lands as well, and that's fine too. But there's no timing involved in this. There's nothing to really think about. You just see it hit you, and then you switch. That's it. Anywhere from about here to here will work for this method. And if you're getting close, let's say anywhere from here to here, you can switch your prayer after a tick. So you let it hit you, you wait a second, then you switch. Blobs, solved, that's it. Alternatively, you can one-tick alternate, which is this. And this will come into play throughout a lot of the waves you do. So it's important to be able to learn this and try it out. You can get to the first blob wave and practice it. It's really simple. But just click your prayer on every single tick, and that's it. Whenever blobs deal some damage to you, we can have a few ways to heal up from them. So blood barraging them is completely fine. I'm just taking a bit of damage here to get low for the waves to showcase some of this. When this guy dies, we come and stand next to him. Pray mage, blood barrage, or ice barrage, the center one, and then switch to your better gear, your tank gear, and pray accordingly. Green is range, blue is mage, red is melee. Nothing more to it. If you're really low at the start of waves, you can also use blood barrage to get mini blobs, nibblers. And then just switch your prayer for the blob. And maybe let's just run away from everything. Let's just run away from everything. Keep it really simple. So now we're going to pray against the back NPC. This tile here actually is a bat safe spot, which is nice. So now we're just praying against the blob. Attack hits me, I wait a second, then I switch my prayer. Attack hits me, I wait a second, then I switch my prayer. And now that it's only a blob to deal with, I can go after nibblers. So I can go and clean these guys up. We don't really care too much about pillars. Pillars really don't mean much. Let's drag this guy around, just get him behind the pillar. Whenever you're dealing with blobs and you want to heal or you want to kill them in a nice set position, you get them into the pillar, like touching it. From this side, I can kill it from this side. South side, not the north side. And we just stay here, and we pray range. And we get this formation. If you're standing here, it won't work, and we'll do the same thing on this side later on. This is just like standard blob stuffs. If you want to heal from it big time, you come back really far. Manual cast blood barrage, manual cast blood barrage. You can flick augury if you like. And it will heal from all of them. Ranger died, which means the mage can see me. So let's pray mage. And that's how we're going to see me heal in any of the waves where I get very low. So, blob's covered nice and simple, and there's really nothing else to the Inferno. So we're going to pray for this blob. When it hits me, I'll wait a second, then switch my prayer. Problem solved. Let's go behind this pillar, still praying for the blob, and let everything drag in. Simplify it. This bat's going to come past, you see it's all in line with the pillar. And of course I recommend hull marking everything helps a lot. Now we're going to use this spot here, which is the bat save spot. You should already have this tile marked if you've watched any guide or anything. So this is another bat save spot this side. We use this tile a lot. We've referenced this tile a lot. And we're just praying against the blob. Bro comes back in, and this side will also work. We kill him from here. And we cannot stand here, but we can stand anywhere further back when killing him. When he's dead, we just pray range, and they'll fall into formation. As long as you stand here, or further back. So we can stand at the far back and do phantoms to get more HP, double blood barrage, or we can just stand close up. And a 152 usually means the mage survives, so pray mage. Alright. That's all the big basics of blobs covered. You'll see me doing some of these solves. So we can still stand on the pillar, and both blobs can see us, so this is great. The attacks hit us, we switch our prayer. Now I want to drag them in. But let's choose one to drag in. Maybe this guy. I'm still flicking this guy. I'm just dragging one in. He's close now, so let's go attack him. And when he dies, we stand up and next to him. So let's go and stand next to him. Ice Barrage one, and switch into our tank here. They're all dead. Great. Remember, for this side blob, we don't kill it from the north side, we kill it from the south side. So a couple of little things like this. Essentially procedure. Understanding what procedure works. And adding it to your arsenal will make blobs incredibly free. 152 usually means mage is alive. Pray mage and kill it. Nice and easy. Okay. 2 of the same NPC. Melee double nibbler wave, so we're just going to chill. Fast on these guys and finish up with blowpipe. We never want to barrage too much. A lot of people overuse mage, no need to. Pipe is very good. And sip restore. We need some. Now we have a melee and it's only a single melee, so let's just barrage and chase the nibblers because it is just a singular melee, no need to be afraid. On waves like this, you can practice your blowpipe walking, you can do all sorts of fun stuff with it. You can practice your pathing and see how it interacts on a pillar. You can essentially just pray melee and see what's up. So if you're not sure about how melees drag on pillars, and I'll demonstrate some of it, then it's a good time to do it. Get to the first melee wave and play around. Right. Now it's a bat, so we've got to be a bit more careful. Let's get back a bit. Maybe one more barrage and pray melee because it's coming towards us. And we're going to hide from the bat. Just isolating the bat so we can deal with the melee. And times like this, you can try and save some prayer. Just a little bit of flicking. With a setup like this, you barely have to flick at all. But it's good to get practice in. If you're doing Inferno for the first time, we're using the bat save spot now. If you're doing Inferno for the first time, you probably don't know how to flick very well. This is a good place to learn, and it's going to benefit you greatly moving onwards. One barrage into our proper gear. Melee's far away, so let's attack this bat. And maybe do a Kodai occult onto the nibblers. Let's kill them, which is great. And let's go back to the bat save spot. We're not trying to speedrun, but we do want to like attack stuff whenever we can. Let's get control of this melee. This is the next concept. We want to be in range of melees, we want to be in control of them. Uncontrollable melees are things that end runs. So the more we can control, the more sort of ability we have to tank them and stay safe from them is good. So now the melee is stuck. We're going to stand still and flick the blob. Attack hits me, I switch. And now I want to bring the blob closer. Attack hits me, I switch. As soon as you switch for the next attack like that, you can move around a pillar or move to the next area. So let's bring the blob closer and kill the melee. Why south side? Purely because it stacks better. If you kill it from the other side, it does not work. So if I kill it from this side, where he is now, he'll stack. If I kill it from this side, he won't stack. It's just how blobs spawn. So we stand still, we don't panic, we just chill. One barrage and pray mage for the last one alive, or whatever is alive. Okay. One barrage and stand still. Clicking the ground after barraging is a good habit as well. If you want to add it to your arsenal, it's worth doing. And it turns out this wave is solved. We just have a bat, so let's kill the bat. Now I want to get control of the melee because the melee is a bit annoying, so let's go around the pillar and attack it. You'll see the hitbox of the melee is preventing this blob coming around, and this happens with a lot of NPCs. So I'm just taking one of them at a time. I'm not trying to fight two at once. If I want to be super safe, I can come around the pillar like this. And you can see that this melee is stuck, and you can learn which sides of the pillar melee get stuck on. Where I am right now, melees get stuck a lot of the time, unless they're over here or over here. We've seen this scenario before, so now we can use this as we have always done. Whenever the blob dies, I come in close and I barrage. So we're adding one concept to another, and we're getting a nice fluid bit of gameplay for these waves. Makes them go fast, makes it less boring, makes it interesting. Right, into our gear. And the blob is on me. This melee, I'm going to show the proof of concept here. So I'm going to go after these one more time. There's a bat safeguarding. If you have NPCs like this, it's going to drag around. So if in doubt, run away. In most cases, that melee will get stuck, but the bat safeguarding it like that, it's a bit scary. So if in doubt, run away. But stand still until it gets close, like make a judgment call. More prayer usage, and let's kill this melee. And as we can see, this is a safe spot. You can run up and down and take hits like this. You can drag it down the pillar. This works on the other side as well for melees over here. And I can come up and I can take a hit. Taking hits resets its dig timer. So if you do it frequently, it'll never dig, which means it'll never surprise you and never be in a bad position. Bat safe spot, flicking the blob. Attack hits me, wait a tick, switch prayer. Let's go behind the pillar now. And then same again for killing the blob. This whole process for the early waves should be quite fluid until we hit Ranger. And no need to rush at all. For a low barrage like that, you can usually barrage again, and then go to your proper gear. Right. Okay, let's start flicking this blob. And I'm going to do a little trick here. I'm going to try and flick the blobs a little bit. If I take one step out and then back up, this melee is free. Now, what I'm going to do is just begin alternating out of the blue. Doesn't matter what my cycle is. I might take one hit or two, that's completely fine. And I've got Rigor on, so that I'm going to kill this melee before it digs and causes a problem for me. Now I can go and maybe click a blob. I can use Bloodbite Specs maybe. And just camp prayer. Maybe switch a little bit. Blood barrage here. If you get low. And we're just flicking the back blob. Now there's only one NPC, we can clear it up normally. Still flicking the blob. Now let's go back. We want to heal from this guy. Pretty unlucky on the hits, but it's okay. And we're not going to worry about those nibblers at all. So when blob dies, we can turn Rigor off here. If you're in a rush, you can use Rigor, but it's okay. Now we can come all the way back, take the negatives off, and use Barrage once and twice in quick succession, and we go from like 30 HP to 66 HP, which is very nice. We can also heal off these guys at the end and do it from afar in exactly the same way. So we're going from about 30 HP all the way to 86 HP on bad waves. You can definitely afford to take damage, although you don't really want to. Double melee wave, one barrage, and let's just pray melee and quick stuff. There's no need to like panic or do anything weird. Use some restore. Notice our south pillar is about half HP, and we do not care in the slightest. North pillar is very easy to protect, and you actually want south pillar to fall by wave 50. It will cause problems for you if it's up at wave 50. So don't feel too attached to letting it die. Or don't feel too attached to letting it survive. Alright, this melee, I've already taken a hit recently. If you're worried it's going to dig, just come in, take a hit, back out. Every 10 seconds or so. Lovely. And now I'm not quite full HP for this double nibbler wave. So I can maybe Blood Barrage it and then Ice Barrage to follow up. Dies anyway, that's 99, lovely. South pillar NPCs, when they spawn here, they can drag around the pillar. And they will see you behind North pillar. Okay, Ranger waves. Ranger's very simple NPC, very easy to understand, same as the Major. And all we do is it just attacks you on a Vortex cycle. You can use Bofa for it, same as everything else if you want to Vortex cycle it. I didn't showcase this in other videos, but if you are Bofering, this is a really nice way to set it up if you're capable. I'm going to be Bofering pretty much everything though, or blow piping everything rather. One barrage and just chill, see what's going on. Ranger's stuck, let's attack the bat. Whenever bats are here, we just kill it. And then we can move on to this guy and then onto the Ranger. So no faffing about, just click stuff, kill it in these kind of waves. Thanks for your bank, Pinini. Yeah, so when you stand here for wave 50, this is your wave 50 start tile. NPCs will hit the pillar and drag down north and then see you. And you don't want that to happen. One barrage, and let's have a think about what to do. Well, there's only bats on the playing field, so let's kill the nibbler, and maybe drag everything in. We're just praying range the entire time. Let's go to bat safe spot and kill this guy. And then when he's dead, I can just go and attack the ranger. There's nothing to attack me like, I don't have to flick my prayers. You can do blowpipe walk practice here. You're going to need this skill for healers, so you can practice it. Being able to do this consistently and nice and easily is very good. Useful for both like the waves and incredibly useful for Zuck. And now we have our first complex wave, which is blob and ranger. So alternating will always solve it, but in this case I'm just going to run away from the ranger. Notice I'm not flicking the blob yet. I'm going to wait for the first attack, then I'm going to start flicking it. So if I take a bit of damage, that's fine. Now we've isolated something, let's isolate this blob and bring everything in. Don't have to worry about him, because I waited for the attack to hit me, and then I go by. If I want to speed things up, maybe I use a blowpipe spec and just a bit of rigor. I can always flick like this, lazy. Now there are a lot of nibblers on that pillar, so I want to get to them. And in this case, if I just leave the blob alive, I can do that. So it's just the blob alive, let's begin flicking it. And maybe blood barrage, followed by an ice barrage. Bit of HP followed by kill everything. All the while just flicking the blob. Now let's go back. If you're capable of flicking, it's entirely acceptable to go after those nibblers on low waves, but as a proof of concept, I'm just not going to do it for this run. My focus is really just protecting North Pillar. Again, we're not killing it from this side, we're doing good procedure and coming around the pillar to kill it from over here. Makes life really easy, nothing's going to get out of place. One barrage, and into our proper gear. Anything alive? Yes, let's finish it up. Dies nice and quick. Okay, more restore. One barrage, and let's just stand still again. Not much going on, there's a bat on us. Great. Let's kill the bat, kill the nibbler, and then isolate the ranger and attack this guy. And look where we are, we're in this position where we're going to stand here and kill it. So this is a familiar position again. Yeah, this is teaching tree. So all this while we're building useful concepts, and now we can execute them one after another. Into our tank gear. If the melee survives, you can't just click it from here because you'll get dragged around. You have to take a step back. Hopefully I'll be able to show that though. And so it turns out that whenever NPCs end up stacking on the pillar, you get very familiar scenarios. And there's only 3 or 4 things as shown in the start of this run that you have to really learn in order to get a cape. Things like putting blobs in the right position, killing them from the right side, and not making rash decisions. So one barrage, and let's just run back. Everything is looking at us, let's just run away. We do not want to deal with this. Standing here means this ranger's gonna like slide along the guys, but if I take a step in, everything shuffles and he's now behind the pillar. So standing here yields NPCs in this area, standing middle yields stuff behind the pillar. Praying range in case, let's get a barrage off and kill this guy. And now if you want to, anytime you have pillar stacks like this, which is very common, you can wiggle on the pillar to see what's going on, and to see where things move. In this case, there's only range NPCs in line, so we can go and attack stuff over here. If I take a step forward for things like 3-tile NPCs like blobs and rangers, I can attack the thing behind them. So in this case, getting rid of the bats is really nice, and you can always bofa them because you have a bofa and it's pretty good. Don't recommend Tbowing stuff in Tbow capes, but bofa's fine. And in low waves, we want to tend to leave the blobs alive last. We don't really want to heal off the ranger. We want to heal off the blobs. But post wave 50, it's the opposite. Let's take a step behind the pillar, let this blob move to the correct position, and let's go. I'm 82 HP, so I'm going to blood barrage from afar, and we're going to get to 99 really easily. Step all the way back, pray range. 1 and 2, with an augury on the second one maybe. Switch to magic because it's the last one alive. Problem solved, 99 HP, lovely. Same position on our pillar. One barrage, and let's run away from everything, because there's a lot of stuff here, and I can start flicking this guy. And there's nothing going to really stop me from killing this guy. Maybe I take a step in to let this blob shuffle in. There we go. Doesn't matter if it comes over here, but it makes life easier. And then when I kill it, in we go. Keep it the same as always. And this is a very low barrage, so let's try and do one more. Very magic can kill this guy. And I do want to get to the nibblers, so maybe let's go and kill the blob. After it dies, stand still. This ranger being there doesn't affect anything, and I can still barrage. 200 XP, he's dead. Now I can go after this guy and pipe him. Don't barrage him unless you need the HP, because it's a bit faster. If there's 2 of them, you can stand the barrage, but with 1 of them, no need. Good. We can start picking up some restores as we like, but for now it's okay. So, one barrage, and let's stand completely still. Let's just see what happens. This guy looks scary, but he's going to get trapped on the pillar. You can see him, he's going to get stuck. So we can just attack him and not really do anything else. There's a nibbler on the pillar. Let's use some rigor to speed up this kill. Melees are slow, it's just how it is. And now he's dead, I can maybe click Bofa and click this nibbler, or just run up and pipe it. It's really okay. And again, we do not care about this HP of this pillar. And we're gonna sit restore whenever we require it. Not flicking anything at all. If you're lower prayer or have worse gear or different gear, you may have to flick a bit, but again, a tiny bit of lazy flicking is enough to get you through Inferno, or just drop a brew for like, 5 brew total. One barrage, and let's just click the ground and stand still. Clicking the ground is pretty important, otherwise you might get dragged south. That's another reason why we want South Pillar to die. And of course, again, this melee is stuck. If I want to attack the bat, I can always pray melee and get dragged into it, or just path to this front tile. But I want to go to the nibblers, and the bat and the melee are in the way, so let's kill them off together. I think our South Pillar is going to die very, very, very early on, which is okay. Now it's dead, let's go up and kill it. And back around. If you want a one-tick like this as well, this is really good. This will save you a lot of prayer and speed things up. So whether you can do it or not doesn't really matter, but it will help you. One barrage, and just stand still. Maybe click this stray nibbler, he's coming towards us. And let's have a look, this melee is getting stuck, he's in the same position. This bat's getting to us, but it's just a bat, so let's kill it. And maybe let's do the same thing, I can pray melee and attack this bat, make sure I'm standing here. Just getting rid of these NPCs makes life a bit easier. And now I'm on the melee, maybe flick some rigor. Speed things up, make it interesting. So for the last like 4 or 5 waves, standing completely still is the best solution. This is why we want to tank some hits. If it does something like this, just pray melee and chill. Let it come out from underneath you, don't panic click it, otherwise you'll get dragged out in a bad direction. We really just want to take our time with Inferno sometimes. Tiny bit of flicking maybe, that's about it. And onto the ranger. So I'll use a couple of flicking methods. I won't flick too much, but doing something like this will speed up the run, which is nice. Alright. Starting right here is really nice as well. One barrage and into our proper gear. This blob is going to get to us. When he stops moving is when I switch my prayer. That's how you know. Let the attack hit us, and then switch our prayer, and then we can go around the pillar. Well, you know this already. So if you're ever wondering if you're standing over here when a blob is going to attack you, let it stand still, then switch your prayer. Easiest method. Alright, let's come over here. Oh, okay. I wanted to showcase some melee stuff, but it's okay. So if I spam click the melee like this, I get dragged into the line of sight of the blob, and that's not good. So that's why we just wait for it to come out from underneath us. We just let it do its thing. It might take a while. And now it's just a melee to deal with. Let's get ready for the blob so we can have a bit of preparatory action. Surely nailed that. And because we took a hit from the blob, let's use our method of healing up again. Let's run all the way back, praying range, keeping line of sight. Barrage number 1, barrage number 2. We were on 75 HP, and now we're on 92. The major is going to come out, so let's pray magic. Not a bad heal, not the best, but it's alright. I didn't take off any gear or use augury for the first one, so it's acceptable. Notice the shield is just sitting over here. One barrage, let's run away from the ranger. Now we have only got to deal with a blob. Okay, now what do I do here? Let's come around and attack these guys. Notice the melee is still stuck behind the ranger. And there's some really nice tricks, such as like bringing it round the pillar. And I'm treating the ranger as a pillar in this circumstance. So if I was here and I stepped out, the melee could come around. But in this case, all I did was use the ranger as a pillar. I stepped out from the ranger and back in. It's the same as what I did earlier on this side of the pillar, like coming round and then back around. So there's a lot of nifty tricks like that you can use to get control of stuff, or bring things closer to you without being damaging. Okay, nibblers on the pillar, I want to get to them. Now that there's only a blob alive, I can work on them, praying against the blob effectively. There's lots on the pillar, so let's use Ice Barrage. And maybe send another one as well. Clean up with Blowpipe, and it's dead. Let's not rush killing this blob, otherwise we're going to get mini blobs everywhere. Let's bring it around this side of the pillar. Still flicking it the entire time. And kill it from here. Didn't quite get that right. Let's do one more attack. There we go. Not a very good barrage, we're going to do another one. And Major is alive, so let's pray magic. Back on the pillar. One barrage, and everything is south, so let's just run away. And let's kill this bat, it's just a singular bat, let's just kill it. Okay, things are beginning to stack up, and this side appears to have nothing that can see me other than range NPCs. I'm going to even get rid of the bat here with Rigor. And when this nibbler tries and groups up, we can go for it. So if I'm standing over here somewhere, quite far back, I can definitely barrage from here, and this is okay. We don't want to let the major around the ranger. You can also Bofa from this distance, most likely. Now the melee has dug, I can still attack the ranger and then maybe hide from the blob. If the ranger's still alive, that's fine, I can still come back and stand here. It's not going to be dangerous. One big skill in the Inferno is planning waves out. Having an idea of what you want to do, and what you need to kill in order to make that work. So in that case, maybe the bat would have come around the ranger and would have been a nuisance, so we can get rid of that really quickly. And eliminating NPCs makes the waves simpler. So if you can kill something, it's usually a good idea. Okay. One barrage, and let's flick the blob a little, and maybe just run away from everything. Now we have a melee to deal with, but I'm going to show you a really cool solution to the melee. I flick the blob until the melee gets close, and then I just pray melee. And I kill it. And that is how you deal with a melee. I took no damage from the blob. Okay, so we have a very clear way to deal with melee problems, and that is just kill it, if in doubt. I've still got Rigor on here because I want to get to those nibblers. My pillar's about to fall, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, I'm going to let the pillar fall. It's early, but again, we do not care. This concept of pillar trapping stuff, corner trapping stuff is very good. What you can do with this is you can move out from the pillar, and the NPC will gain line of sight, and you can move back, and it will be stuck. This is true for any NPC in the Inferno, as long as they're touching the pillar like this, and you're on one of these 4 tiles over here. It does not work for these sides at all. But it's really nice to be able to just catch a break, no matter what the scenario is. Okay, so now we're down a pillar. More things are going to come north, but that's fine. Literally nothing's attacked it yet. And more things are going to go west, which again, doesn't matter. We can let the pillar fall and just deal with north pillar. So let's kill this guy. It's a bit of a weird position, so what I can do is, instead of coming back here, I can come over this way, which will drag him down. And this is a similar position to the opposite, where the blob is near me, and I can just move in, spray magic, and barrage close. Not a very good barrage, let's try with augury this time, and switch into our tank gear to finish up. There's 2 NPCs alive here, so sometimes it's slow, that's just how it is with RNG. Just praying accordingly, and now we're 66 HP. So we definitely want to utilize this blob in the same way as before. All the way back, pray range, augury on, negatives off, 1 barrage, 2 barrage, and we got to 95, which is fantastic. Alright. Range pray and 1 ice barrage. Now we stand still. This melee is stuck and that one's far away. Let's go for another barrage on this guy. Maybe 1 more even. Maybe 1 more? Let's stop there. 3 tiles is the furthest you can go from the pillar. If I go 1 more, this guy will be free from the pillar and kill me. So I got a couple of barrages off, waiting for him to get close. And I don't want that pillar to fall, preferably, so let's use Rigor and kill it faster. And now that it's dead, let's go after it with a blowpipe. Now the melee is going to dig, but a nice little trick. This space over here is 3 tiles, and the melee is 4 tiles, and that means the melee can't get to me. So you can often look for places, if you ever have to run out for whatever reason, where the melee simply can't get to. And you can treat NPCs as a pillar. And when you think about it, if every NPC is a pillar, it gives you a lot of opportunities to really kite melees. Let's flick a little bit. And we can nearly go back and pick up these restores, which is great. So some range spray. Try and get the middle one. Not too bad. Let's finish up with blowpipe. And it's literally just 2 rangers, so let's go and attack them. Don't have to worry about them at all. Notice that at this point in the run I've used 2 restores to get to major, and I have not been flicking. So if you can extrapolate that, I gotta get to another major plus the same amount of waves. We're realistically looking at maybe like another 5 restores to get to Zuck, which means I'm gonna have like 6 restores for Zuck, which is ridiculous. You need like 2. So clearly, restores are not a problem, flicking is not a problem, Eldritch is very bad, and so is Lightbearer and all the stuff that might give you prayer, you just don't need it. Flicking is very, very unnecessary for Inferno. Alright, 2 rangers means it's nibblers, which means I can just chill in the center. And I can go and barrage and chase after them, and try and kill them off nice and quickly before they get to my pillars. And it looks like I've just done just that, so good. Now we're on the major waves, so let's start using Mage Spray. 1 barrage, and it's just a major, so I can chase the nibblers just fine here, no problem. Both are on, let's attack. With the same rules apply with a monster, that way where some sides don't work. You have to go in and practice a little bit and understand how the pillar works. It's not particularly intuitive, but in short, if an NPC is here, it will prefer going this way instead of this way. So if you're standing here, it will get stuck behind the pillar. Whereas if you're standing here and the NPC is here, it will come towards you instead of get stuck. Which means the safe side for the pillar is this one here, like always. That's just the main thing. Like, this position here is incredibly safe. We can now use Bofa a bit more to, like, tag stuff. You can definitely do this in the lower waves, but this is, like, really nice. And the one property of the Major to keep in mind is that it will respawn things at a rate of 1 in 10 per attack. So if I stand here on the bat safe spot, instead of killing the bat, I won't have to kill the bat, let it respawn, and kill it again, which wastes time and resources. I'd rather just kill the Major on its own. So if we can not deal with other NPCs, that's great. We should try to kill the Major first. But it's not a necessary thing. If there's a melee on you, you want to kill the melee, just get rid of it. So I'm still not flicking anything here. There's just no need. Now we can kill the bat, take my prayer off as well. Easy, easy. One barrage, not a very good one, let's send 1 more. These are early major waves, so there's not really much going on. And I'm just going to run away from the bats a little bit while I do this. Maybe go behind the pillar. And this one's going to get round, so let's pray range and kill it. I don't really want to kill it again, but I kind of have to, so it's fine. And now we use the bat safe spot, and don't worry about this guy here until after the Major's dead. There's the respawn, and we just leave it alone. Respawned NPCs don't respawn again, so we can kill it whenever we like, and it's not a problem. And we're getting low on prayer, so let's just use more. Whenever you hit 50 prayer, you want to use restore. The higher your prayer during a wave, the less likely you are going to have to, like, panic restore at a point where you're running out. And you have infinite supplies, so just use restore. It's just much better, much safer, much easier. We can do some Bofering to finish up these bats. Bit of rigor, bit of Bofa, should be fine. Blowpipe's marginally better, but no biggie. Okay. Now we have Blob Major. Let's just go behind the pillar. No reason to do anything crazy. From here, I'm not even sure if I can go for it. Maybe? Okay, so you can test stuff like this, and you can always pray magic in doubt. I've stepped 1 into the pillar to allow the blob to slide down. If I was staying here, the blob could have come further down. And it looks like I can just attack it from this side, so let's do that. So hopefully the concepts so far and the ways we've been dealing with stuff, they're not very complex on their own. And they gain a bit of complexity when you're adding them together to do like multiple things, but each individual action for dealing with waivers, like stand still, maybe isolate something, kill something, nothing crazy. And certainly no flicking. We will at some point be alternating. If you want to practice alternation, that's great. You can do it on any NPC like this. Let's go behind the pillar to not deal with the blob. And it will come into play a bit later for more blob and mages or blob and rangers, but not right now. Ranging cape over assembler if no max cape. The stuff that I'm using right now is the best stuff. You can use FCF or have a look at their YouTube vids. You don't want to bring anything that's different. One barrage, and let's start flicking the blob because this major is stuck. Now let's kill the bat while flicking the blob. We can always return to range brain and then flick mage when it hits us. That's fine. I don't want to like get dragged out into the line of sight of the major, so I can use Bofa there to kill that. After the attack from the blob, I can go around the pillar, and now the blob can't do anything, and I can deal with the major on its own. But standing still there was important, because if I try and move back around the pillar from here, maybe I'm causing problems, and maybe now the blob can see me, the bat can see me, maybe there's nibbles alive. By standing still here, I can deal with everything in its own time. Nice and easy. I know I put a lot of emphasis on standing still, but it really does make a big difference. Let's flick a little bit. Just to keep us on our toes. Lovely. Now let's kill the bat. Flicking the blob. And come into the pillar to allow the blob to slide into its normal position. We're full HP, so Ice Barrage close range is fine. It's an okay barrage. Let's switch our gear and now pray magic because this guy's not barraged. He will come around. Lovely. Maxscape doesn't do anything if you have a Ring of the Gods. One barrage and assess, standing still. Looks like everything is safe spotted, so we can go use our blowpipe and kill stuff. I have Ring of the Gods on. And Maxscape effect is only good because of Ring of the Gods. But if I have one on, it's no need for it. Let's go click the major. Looks like everything is stuck. So again, standing still wins again. Malediction Ward gear? No, Crystal Shield. The only good gear is the gear that I'm using, nothing else is relevant. If you can get this gear, you should use this gear. If you don't have this gear, it's a different story. Now, when this major dies, the blob might slide around, so I can stand here and corner trap it, which was the concept we looked at earlier. If you do it too early, you'll get melee though, so gotta chill. Yeah, this is ZVAMs, but you could just use Barrows gloves. It's barely different. Now it's dead. I come and corner trap the blob. Just to give myself a breather for a second. You don't have to, you can just kill it. And we can release it and attack it. If you're confident, you can maybe kill the bat behind it. Come and stand in this like 3-tile range, 4-tile range. And it's not a great position for killing it, so if you're ever in the open killing a blob, come and stand on one of its center tiles like this. And then they'll be nice and grouped up, and you can go for them. Into your tank gear, and then finish up with blowpipe. Same as always. What's minimum? You can be like negative 30 magic and it's completely fine. One barrage and let's run behind the pillar. Looks like everything is up there. Now we can use this tile here, which is the Nibbler safe spot. And you can barrage from there just fine. Now the blob is going to see us, but just as a proof of concept for barraging. Now I'm moving away to safe spot this blob and I just have the major to deal with on its own. So this is like super simple. If you stand on the middle of the pillar and everything clumps into the pillar, I can run back here, I can attack the Nibbler safe spot with Barrage or Bofa, and not have to worry at all about getting seen. But if you're in a rush to save your pillar, that's what you can do. You can just come back and maybe take 1 or 2 blob hits. And People stress out flicking the major. I'm just gonna chill. Alright, we've got blobs to deal with. We're gonna deal with them exactly the same way as before. Multiple blobs are even the same as one blob, so you just wait for it. And then flick them together. And then whenever this guy dies, I flick the back blob. I might take a hit or two from the range mini, that's okay. I'm still flicking the back blob. And I'm gonna drag him into the pillar. Okay, let's kill this guy first. He's on his own, he's just safe spotting this guy. Now the blob will drag around, I'm gonna wait for him to drag before clicking him. Always, always wait. And we're 80 HP, so let's use our tactic to get a bit more HP out of the scenario. 82 to 87, and 87 to 99. Pray magic here for this guy, and they're both dead. So it only takes a second to execute that, gives you a huge amount of HP. One barrage, and let's stand still. Turns out, we know how this goes, the melee gets stuck. So, standing still wins again. Crazy! Now, you can bow for this guy, you can blowpipe him, it doesn't really matter. You can even do some cool tactics, like coming around this side, stepping out, stepping in, you can practice all this stuff, and this will drag the major closer, whereas if I'm standing here, he's like still over there. So you can have all sorts of fun trying some stuff and speeding up waves. Crazy tactics. But if in doubt, just click stuff. Now, whenever you get a melee respawn and you're in a safe position, like maybe only dealing with a major, just kill it with Bofa. This is one of the best things about Bofa capes that you can't really do as well with Tbow capes. You can just delete NPCs. And now that it's respawned and died, it'll never come back. So, just kill. What was the song? I don't know, but I can give you the playlist. There you go. I chose chill music for today. For first capers, it's probably quite nice. Oh my goodness, he's doing some prayer flicking. How dare he? Okay. One barrage, and let's just take a second. This melee is going to get to us, so let's hide behind the pillar and pray against it. Now before I deal with the melee, let's go to the nibbler safe spot and use Bofa on this guy to kill it. Maybe I'll take a step up towards this guy, and I can attack this guy as well. So I don't have to deal with the melee immediately, and now I'm going to wait for him to get out from underneath me, so maybe I'll path over here, and now I can attack him. So we're going to utilize this spot a lot in order to protect North Pillar easily, and not have to deal with anything over here. And that's why, again, this pillar is the only pillar that matters. We're about halfway through the waves, which is good. And our pillar has taken 0 damage, or like maybe like 2 or 3 damage. Is it not better to blood barrage nibblers? Only, yeah, if you're low HP, or you're not 99, and your pillars are doing well, you can blood barrage, but it's not necessary. It's kind of one of those things that you can make a judgment call about it. Okay, now we're getting to the later waves, we have to be a lot more controlling of melees. By standing here, or anywhere on this side of the pillar, like so, the melee is going to dig facing this way, like this. So you'll see when the melee digs, how he digs. And all I have to do to deal with this guy is take a step diagonally northeast. And he's trapped. And again, you can like shuffle on the pillar, you can go back and take a hit, you can do all sorts of stuff. But this process of standing one tile out and then diagonally up like this will always trap melees. And we're going to keep that in mind going forward. Back on the major. That concept is really useful. You can use it not only on the pillar, but on NPCs as well. So this major, if I was standing here, the melee would dig like this, and I could take a step northeast, and it would be safe spotted on the major. Sounds complex, but I will show it in action, and it will make a lot of sense. All we're doing is treating NPCs as pillars. One barrage, and just completely stand still. Oh look, the melee is stuck. I can take a step out here, and maybe even use Bofa to clear up this nibbler. And now I want to kill the major, which I can do from this tile. But I also want to take control of the melee, because if it digs on me, it's going to cause problems. So what I'm going to do is take control of the melee after the major attacks. And then come back. You have a big window to do this, and you do it every like 8-10 seconds. Just like this. If you're really brave, you can find an off-tick, and always do it. And now the melee will never dig. You can also exit at any time by stepping back. So again, stand still, get control of the melee, kill the major, good stuff. And I'm going to keep doing this as much as I can do, and make sure the major dies first. I could also kill the melee, but it's going to cause problems like freeing up the bat. I don't really want that. I'd rather just like add a little thing to make the melee stay in place. This will also save me supplies and resources, which is good. There we go. Nothing too crazy about that. Let's kill this bat first, and then let's kill the melee. If you want to, you can use the melee as a pillar. Except this pillar you can shoot through, and the bat can't hit you. You take an 80 from the major. It's a world record if you take an 80 from the major. Right, now we have a blob, a melee, and the major, so this is a scary wave. One barrage, and stand still. Let's flick the blob because everything is stuck, and use Bofa to clear up this last nibbler while flicking the blob. Okay, now let's attack the major. My next part of what I do in this wave is to formulate a plan on how I deal with the melee. So what I'm going to do in a few seconds is come out over here, and now all I have to do is flick the blob. And now when the melee digs, I can come and stand over here. So what I'm doing is I'm preparing for the melee. Now we come round, and we frame mage. Now the blob is stuck, and now the melee is in a range that I can do something with it. So you don't always have to be attacking, you just have to think of how to like deal with melees. And now I can give myself a bit more space to work with by dragging them down, and I can do exactly the same thing. And I do this every 8 seconds. Wave over, done. So you have to think about melee dig prep, you have to. And if you're comfortable flicking, now you can flick it. You can also exit it at any time, just like that. Blowpipe to finish mages is good as well. If he digs here at this point in time, I would just continue to kill the major. There's really no reason to not kill him at that point. But see how easy this wave was. All it was isolate stuff, click the major, maybe come back around and like prepare for the melee dig. Done. The rest of it is history. And we shall use this process for the rest of the waves. We're still 99. Oh, no we're not. I made a mistake. So let's step back and let's get healing. So barrage once, barrage twice. If there's an NPC alive here, I can barrage again a third time. So from 95 I should get 99 easily. Fantastic. Right, again, barrage one time and stand still. Everything is over here, so let's go behind the pillar and deal with this melee on its own. Now I can just kill it. So if I can get rid of it, well, it's not so much that I want to kill it, but I can't really deal with that stack while the melee is there. This run is going on YouTube, yeah. There's 3 other runs on YouTube as well if you want help with first games. Okay, I want to kill the major, but I don't want to kill these guys as well. What I'm going to do is go to the bat safe spot so I can reach the major and begin alternating. The easy way to do this is to pray mage for 1 full cycle and then catch it on the 2nd cycle and begin alternating. So that looks something like this. You'll take 1 blob hit, and that's fine. If the melee respawns, that's fine. I just keep doing this until he spawns on me. So 1 blob hit, not to worry about, we're going to get that healing back at the end of the wave. We keep it alternating until the blob attacks us, and then we can move behind the pillar, and pray just in case. So we always wait for that last attack to finish our alternation. Now we have a very similar stack that we've seen before. We can just kill the bat, and let the blob move in here, and that's that. So even after that entirely large wave collapses, we're left with something that we've seen plenty of times. Each time you get to a further wave, all you're doing is adding like +1 to the complexity, but as long as you like take it in steps, nothing should be too difficult. 1 attack, and let's just stand still. I want to isolate these guys, so let's attack the melee. Rigor on and maybe kill the bat. The bat alone doesn't really do too much, but together they're a nuisance. So I'm just using Rigor to clear all these NPCs. Let's kill this bat. Let's just get rid of it. I'm just praying melee. I can use a spec, but I don't want to use two because it's a useful tool to have. Okay. Now I can go in both of this, praying mage, and come back praying range. You can do stuff like that with Bofa as well, which is really handy. So this is the same thing again. We can just alternate immediately, like this. Or we can do the more simple solution. You can even put Rigor on to get some defense, which is to take a hit from the blob and get it on the second cycle, like that. One hit's okay, just keep alternating. Really watch your prayers and listen to the major attack. Obviously, if you can do it immediately on command, that's even better. And if in doubt, use Rigor. We keep alternating until it attacks us, and now go behind the pillar. I'm 69 HP, so let's kill it and use our method to get more HP back. All the way back, negatives off, augury on, one attack. Cast the second one immediately. And we got 96 from that. We could even got even more from him if we wanted, but there's, 96, 97, so fantastic. Mage spray. One barrage and just stand still. I'm going to switch to my tank gear, put Rigor on and go after this guy. And then I'm going to stand here and attack the major. And now we just alternate. By standing here, if the melee digs, I just take a step northeast. That was the concept we looked at a couple of waves ago. And I want to kill stuff. This is a hard wave. So I'm using Rigor to speed things up. When the melee digs, I stop alternating and just camp Mage Spray. Okay, and now we start alternating again. Just gonna find our groove. We keep alternating until that attacks us. There it is. And now we go on the melee. And now we flick it normally. Maybe use a blowpipe spec to try and go faster. Lovely, Rigor paid off. Wait for the attack. And let's drag him in. I'm going to stand up in front of him. This is not a great position to kill him on, so let's stand up here. Maybe use Augury and Blood Barrage. You can put on Sea Shield if you want to for this kind of stuff. Alright. And now we're going to kill him from this side. We're 90 HP, but we're low prayer. Let's use some more. The big thing with that was predetermining to stand here, so that I could move diagonally and trap it. It wouldn't have been the end of the world if I didn't do it, but it helps a lot. Let's try and get some HP back. Very melee for the last one. Good. We're now approaching Ranger Major. Let's use more restore. Got loads to use. One barrage, and this guy is going to see us. Let's isolate the Major and come back around. Now, there's a few interesting things you can do here. In this case, with two of them, it's better to kill them. If there was only one of them, I could come around here. Because remember, this guy likes to drag this way instead of this way. So when there's one of them, I can do that. Surely both are hits. Unlucky. Let's wait for the attack. And come around. I want to get to this Nibbler. But it's a bit difficult. I'd actually rather not. I think I can probably stand here. Yeah. That's a nice little trick. If I went here, he would drag across, but by standing here, it blocks him. Not really a first kick thing, but something I wasn't sure about, so nice to know. We are going to keep control of this melee. However, I want to show you guys another trick. This is what I was talking about earlier. If we treat the Major as a pillar, we're standing on this outside edge as if we were standing here. And all we have to do is take a step northeast. Let's wait for him to dig. You get this set up where the NPC is like one around the side of the pillar, so you're two away. And he will dig very soon. I'm trying to get him nice and low. That's all it is. Inferno, and getting Inferno capes is just like learn 10 tricks and you're fine. So we take a step northeast, and as if this major was a pillar, this guy is now safe spotted. Same thing. You can even run further down, just like this. Exactly the same as the pillar. Hello, Mr. Valk. When he dies, we gotta pray melee because he is going to attack us though, because we're not safe spotting anymore. Let's take control of both the melees. Fantastic. And now we just attack. We've used 4 restores to get to here, and this is quite a late wave. There's only about 15 waves left. So we have loads and loads of prayer. I'm going to safe spot this guy. And this is our new start tile. From this point onwards, we will be using Sea Shield, and we will not be using Ancestral Top. So this is our start gear, and it looks a bit like this. We don't have this on. One barrage, and click the ground. Looks like this guy is safe spotted. Great. If your south pillar's alive, you really want to click the ground, otherwise you're going to get dragged out. If you click it early enough, you won't get pushed. Depends on a few things, but this is one of the reasons why we want south pillar to die ASAP. This is just complete first cape with lots of tips and tricks. But I'll do a sub 65 without chins as well, which is one of the ones I haven't done yet. Let's use restore, getting low. I consider 50 low. You really want to be above 50 starting waves. And because he's really low, we can blowpipe to finish him off. Good. So that's our nice 50 start. And our north pillar is like completely fine at 50. So 55 when? I can go down and try and get different times, but it's a bit hard to emulate bad play. Tank gear on, one barrage. And let's just click the ground. Notice the ranger can't see me. Let's use Bofa to maybe kill the bat and maybe run away from it. Let's isolate the major. We can actually just come around here and isolate the major. I do want to kill the bat though, so let's just go over here and pray mage for the major, kill the bat. And our pillar's gone. If your pillar dies and there's like a frozen nibbler, this guy is going to come towards you, so we just have to kill him off. Bofa or whatever it is, doesn't really matter. And we've just got a mage to deal with. Have any tips for the melee only challenge? Try and learn to 2-tick. Doesn't matter too much. You have a lot of healing and a lot of tankiness, so scythe stuff. South pillar die. You want south pillar dead by wave 50. Because otherwise, the major can come around the pillar and see you. Whereas if the pillar's not there, it goes like this and gets stuck. So with the south pillar dead, if I stand here, the only spawns that can ever see me are the spawn here, here, and here. Those are the only 3 spawns that ever see me. If I stand here and the south pillar's alive, this spawn sees me. So it's not the end of the world if your pillar's alive, but it doesn't do you any favors to keep it there. Now, we keep rangers alive, because rangers are always present, and we're always going to heal to 99 here. Doesn't matter what wave you're on, if you're first caping, always heal 99. It's just one of those little things that people don't take into account, but it makes a big difference to how much damage they take and their survivability chances. So let's stand here. One barrage. And just, this guy is not going to see us anymore. I want to get to those nibblers, let's come back. Now this guy is going to see us because we've increased our line of distance to him, but the major's stuck, so it doesn't matter. Now let's go behind the pillar properly, and just let things settle. Get the Bofa on, and it looks like from this side I can attack the major, so let's do that. Yeah, a lot of people run backwards and forwards to north pillar and south pillar, and it's just nonsensical. I've seen people run back, no joke, like 7 or 8 times in one wave, using like 2 full restores and 3 brews, and it doesn't do anything. There's just no reason to. The only way you get through waves seriously is by learning how waves work and how all these little tips and things play together. And you'll be a hell of a lot better player at the end of it as well. Do I use a plugin to track waves? Nope. I just look at what's in the wave, like in front of me. There's a major, a ranger, and a bat. So I know the next wave is a major, a ranger, and 2 bats. That's it. That's all it is. We can kill the bat. I don't know. It doesn't really take like a big brain to add +1 to your wave in terms of NPC. Don't find Justy useful, seems like 2 brews is better. Hell yeah. Justy can be good, it's just not very good. People use it badly. Tank gear on, 1 barrage, and looks like we got our prey range because it's the only thing that can see us. Now let's go to the Nibbler safe spot. We tanked it because of our good armor, and let's just both of these guys to death. Back into our gear maybe, and let's try and barrage this. Looks like we're close enough. If in doubt, wait for it to group up. Fantastic. Now I want to drag the ranger closer, so let's alternate this stack here. Wait for the attack. And you can either do 1 whole mage cycle and then catch it, or you can just instantly do it. Doesn't matter. Masuri's better than Justy. Justy's dead content for Inferno. Masuri is quite tanky. I did some forestry, yeah. It's alright. There's the attack from the blob, so we can stop alternating. And now let's go kill... well, actually, we probably should kill the blob first. It's better to kill the blob first, slightly. We want a ranger alive as a blood bag after wave 50. Okay, 1 barrage into our property here. Let's kill the major, then the ranger. There we go. And we're still 99, so there's no reason to bother anymore, but if we did take damage, it would have been better. And let's do some one-ticking for the rangers. Should be nice and easy. Yeah, I mean, I like forestry. I think it's good. Not for every player, but it's essentially just better woodcutting, which I'm all for. I want early game to be faster. 1 barrage and stand still, flick the blob. If I go back, the ranger will see me, so let's maybe just like sit on the pillar and let things drag in before I do anything else. Now it's dragged in, let's go back and bow for this, and you can see the ranger won't see me. Take a step up, make sure I'm in range of this nibbler, and go for that instead. Good. And I'm just flicking the blob the whole time. Now let's go attack the major. I'm going to get rid of the bat first, though. Use some rigor. Okay. And I took a bit of damage from the bat, but no biggie. I'll get it back from the blob and the ranger. I don't know what wave it is, and I don't really care. It doesn't matter. Asking Ono? Yeah, I personally think it's a bad habit to think about waves. Okay. When we kill this guy, I'm going to stand into him, like so, and blood barrage for some heal. Not a great one, let's do 1 more with augury. And now pray melee. We can use some bastions, but I was going to use them maybe like a bit closer to wave 60. I usually forget to, but yeah, we can do that. Now we're 85 HP, so after we kill the bat, into our proper gear, and we're going to heal up. Blood barrage here is fine too. I don't know why it was on ice barrage. Just helps you flick like this. But I'll probably end up using them around about wave 58 maybe. This is why we don't want to be like healing too much. We can take off negatives and stuff, and then flick augury if we really want to, and it will help. And as soon as you're 99, kill it normally. Good. Tank gear on. Let's use more restore, we're getting low. 1 barrage and consider what's going on. I can flick this blob, it's the only thing here. And let's just keep flicking the blob and then kill this bat, because it's in the way. I want to move across and let the ranger come and tuck itself in. And now while flicking this blob, I can go after these nibblers. I can even bow for it since I could hit a big barrage. Okay. What I want to do here is kill this bat and alternate. I've got Bofa out. So all I have to do is one click. That's not great. You can just camp mage spray as well. But the blob is non-existent if I alternate, so may as well. You can also step it out like a melee, and come east for a tick and then back, and it will be freed from the pillar. There's the attack from the blob, and the blob's not quite on the pillar, so let's move around, waiting for the attack again. And kill this bat first, get it out of the way. I want the ranger alive as a blood bag, so let's kill the blob now it's pulled in. Not a good hit, let's try again. That's better. Ooh. Made a mistake, if I take a hit that's fine. This is why we keep ranger till last. Just checking I have my barrage up there. I'm gonna take off the negatives. And I'm gonna come all the way back, in case I can get this barrage off for a bit more HP. I do get a little bit. You'll make some like that. You can always just brew. We do have plenty of brews. One barrage, and let's pray range. Let's put on our tank gear, rigor on, and attack this ranger. Just kill it. Because you can't do anything with that blob, and this is a scary position. I'm waiting for my HP to be lowered before I blowpipe spec, but right now my priority is killing something. Okay, now I can flick the blob. Flick the blob, flick the blob. Now I can blood barrage this. I'm still flicking that blob. More blood barrage, more blood barrage. Wait for this attack to hit us. And as we switch to mage, we can go around the pillar. I could also alternate to make that process smoother, but it's just to showcase that you can absolutely just DPS even rangers down. Rangers here, so let's run away. And flick the blob. I'm 61 HP, so it's time to barrage to get my HP back. Let's get this guy as well. And into our proper gear, just to finish him up. Alright, so now we have a bit more of a real stack. I can't come out this way because these guys are together, but I can come out this way. So there's two ways to deal with this. Way number one, I come out this way and kill some of this. Way number two, I off-tick them. A really nice off-tick is to come out this way, and as you see, the ranger attacks and then it's got a cooldown. The blob will attack me as well. But we can definitely do something like this. He respawned instead of attacking. That's fine. This is now a really complex wave. So we can still do something along the same lines, but it's tricky. I really think for learners at this stage, we'd probably just end up killing things, so I will keep it simple. Rigor on because we're getting a bit low, and we're going to alternate and kill this blob. Praying range at the end of this, and blood barraging for a bit of HP. And now we pray mage here. Oh, no we don't. We run away. Sorry, bad advice. We just run away there. I thought he was going to come around, and he did block the major, but don't pray mage there, just run. We're just clearing NPCs, that's the idea. That was a bit of a silly thing to say. Okay, so now we have our standard stack, major in front, ranger behind, and a blob. In stacks, we ignore blobs as far as clicking patterns go, and in this case, you click the back NPC. The proof of concept here is to attack the back one, the Jalzil, and you see that only it attacks you, and then the blob will attack you, but again, we ignore the blob. So in this position, we attack the ranger, and alternate, and then click the major. Or, you can come out and instantly click the major as soon as it's available. It'll look something like this. That's like half the cycle. So again, something like that. And you can get a feel for it by testing, by moving in and out. It's quite a late wave to get a proper pillar stack, so it might feel a bit awkward. Usually you just get the major and the ranger. But in this case, one full cycle and then begin alternating with rigor. Rigor's optional. A lot of stack solutions are in Weedy Raids or on several guides on YouTube. the back one will see you first. It has a wider field of view towards you. It can see you it can see you easier. Okay, now we have Blob and Ranger. We want to kill the Blob first, preferably, but it doesn't make a really big deal. Again, we're just going to alternate through it, so let's kill the Ranger. You can also manually step out instead of attacking something. But attacking in that scenario is very easy, so it tends to work better. There's the Blob attack. We can go back now, let it pull in. Drink more restore because we're getting low. And we're 91, so let's use Blood Barrage into our proper gear and our Mage Spray to finish. Let's go back on our tile and put on tank gear. We're on wave 56 now. One barrage, and it's just the Ranger on us, so let's spray range. Let's go around the pillar. Attack the Ranger. It can be a little bit awkward, because when the melee digs, I haven't got much to do, so let's use another trick here, which is to stand here. This works exactly the same way, it's the different way to step the melee back, and it will get stuck in a different way. Actually, this one might not work. Maybe I'll come over here, I'll try this one. And now when it digs, I can come over here, and now it's stuck. I think it wouldn't have been stuck the way I was trying to do it. The reasoning is a bit weird, but the idea was if I stood here, and the melee dug here, the Mage's line was here, so it would have been stuck on the Major and wouldn't be able to go east. So coming over there was like the safe play, I just went as far away as possible. Alternatively, I can just run back here and safe spot it here. That was a lot of solutions, basically. A lot of solutions for that wave, so not too fussed about people not solving that properly. Alternatively, just kill the Ranger. Right. One barrage, and let's go to the Nibbler safe spot immediately, because everything is far south. This Ranger is coming very wide, and I think he might come around the pillar. So I'm just going to pray range in case. And he does indeed. Let's use Bofa to clear up this Nibbler. And now I need to be aware of what to do when the melee digs. So if I stand over here, I can always move from this side over here, praying mage and killing the bat. So let's do that. I've had an idea of what I want to do. When the melee digs, pray mage, kill the bat. So I thought about it for a little while, came up with a solution, executed it. Great. Now what do I do if the melee digs? Maybe go back towards the Ranger. Or, alternatively, take hits. As long as I have a solution, it's okay. You can do about 3 hits in between tanks, I'd say. Great, now he's dead. Let's get full control. Taking a hit sets it back 15 ticks at least. If you take a hit every 14 ticks, I guess, you would never have a melee dig on you. We're at 97 HP. Let's heal. Or try to. Didn't get the heal, unlucky. There we go. Every little helps. Proper tank gear on, and this is wave 58. So, one barrage, and just stand still, and it's only the Ranger that can see me, so let's pray range. Let's go around the pillar and kill off the Nibbler set. And looks like the bats are going to get to me as well, but that's okay. I can just kill the bats. This melee's a bit scary, so I'm going to take a step back to make sure he is definitely safe spotted. And I'll finish this up with a Bofa over here. Now, I can't really get to the Major, so I'm just going to take the easy route and kill the melee. I'm going to use one blowpipe spec as well, just to get a little bit more HP to be comfortable. And we're good to go. Oh, he dug, but that's fine. They can dig and die anyway, like that. Great range for the bat, maybe just attack it, keep it simple, great. Now the melee's here, let's run away. We can again bow for this, maybe a bit of rigor. Should die nice and fast. Lovely. Let's use restore. Okay, everything is... I think that was a triple respawn, which is very, very, very rare. Alright. But again, like, we're in complete control. This side of the pillar is like always safe, so we can use it if something is being scary. Let's go back around. And instead of piping, we're gonna just barrage to full. We're 81 right now. Not a comfortable HP for these waves. And because we're now doing like into the 60s, we can start to use our Bastion pot. You can even use Brew if you want to. So in this wave, we're 99 right now. I can use a dose of Brew. I can use a dose of Restore to get my like restore back up. And then a dose of Bastion. I can even, with excess prayer, put Augury on. And now I'm like a mega tank. Let's pray range. And I'm just gonna kill this melee. I'm gonna stay as far away from him and get ready to blowpipe spec. If I take damage, I blowpipe spec. No need? Okay, let's alternate this. That is the power of Bastion pot and Rigor. And Brew. Just everything. Wave was scary, reduced to ash. And now I just alternate. Now for these waves, I really want to put an emphasis on using Rigor. You should have loads of prayer left. Let's click this guy. And let's DPS him down. He's going to get close and hit us, that's fine. Now we pray against the blob. And now let's alternate. So even on first capes, your DPS is incredibly good. Don't shy away from using it. I had a blowpipe spec in reserve. I could have had 2 if I was saving them. So 2 blowpipe specs in reserve makes for like very easy work of all these guys. And now because I'm Bastion, we're going to try and move a bit faster through these waves to preserve it. And as you can see, we're now pretty tanky as well. We preserved our Brew, which is great. So Augury on. 1 barrage, similar wave. Let's come over here. Now I can off-tick here. This is scary. Not many first capers will do this. All you have to remember is that this tile can see everything out there. But this tile is safe. So all you have to do is watch the ranger. If in doubt, I could also just kill the ranger. But don't feel too scared about trying some of this stuff. This is now scary. I'm gonna pray mage and run over here. Just run. So if in doubt, you can run straight through NPCs and just get to the other side. It's completely fine. That's definitely not a first caper thing, but it is a tricky wave. Other solutions would just be to stand there like I did last wave and just kill the melee. But I mean, I already did that, so I wanted to try something different. The melee might dig here. Let's stand into the blob, it still dies fast. Send a barrage and into our tank here. Yeah, if you ever come out that side, just wait for the attack for the big NPC and move into this tile. Or move into any line of sight. You can cure a lot of stuff like that. Yeah, I agree, not exactly the best first caper solve, but certainly doable. And of course, at the end of the day, if you end up taking a shit ton of damage, you're probably off tick, so run somewhere else. Isolate something else. Right, Augury on. This is one of the freest waves you could get. I just click the major. Done. This bat's gonna drag along, but if I take a step in, he gets stuck. Now I gotta have a plan for when the melee digs, but I'm Bastion potted and I'm hitting well, so I'm gonna use Rigor on this guy, and my plan is to kill the major. Even if I have to tank the melee. He's dead. Great. And in most cases in these waves, as long as you're clicking stuff and you have Bastion pot running, there's no way you're gonna die. You don't noodle that hard with Bofa, I'm afraid. Yeah, to reiterate for that last wave, if in doubt, kill the melee, nuke it. Same as the wave before. There's no blob on this side, so it's just range NPCs. I can come up and kill them. I'm gonna let the bat fully die, let the blob drag around, and now I can alternate. Prey range. Not a good one. Let's use some more restore. Go again. And I can't really pray mage here, but that's okay. We'll just blowpipe it until it dies. If I take damage, I will barrage it back up. We didn't, so we're fine. Augurio. Let's pray melee and rigor. And I'm just moving around to make sure everything shuffles. And I'm going to use my blowpipe specs here. If I have to brew, I have to. My damage is good. I can take one more hit. Just withholding this spec in case I need it. Okay, now let's start flicking this blob. Doesn't matter how I do it, let's just get control of the blob. Okay, scary wave. What I want to do is attack the major, and these two blobs I can alternate. So let's get rigor on. And alternate. Melee's back. If he comes around, I move back and kill him. I can just take a diagonal step and go to the Calvino starting tile. The 50 start tile. But I'm not immediately concerned. If he spawns now, I would just keep on going until he dies. There's the attack from the blobs. Let's go back round and flick this guy. More restore. There's the attack. Now we can go around. Yeah. Wave 64 is actually a wave that I found really hard when learning Cape. This is one of those waves that I would also pre-brew for. So we'll be down to 2 doses Bastions going forward, and that's fine. Yeah, I've shown the mage... I've shown, like, the alternating melee flick a few times, but it is tricky to do for learners. I want to get full HP, let's go back. 1 barrage, 2 barrage, and we're 99. Lovely. I could pre-brew, but I'm not going to bother right now. Okay, these melees are both going to get to me. So I have to have a way to deal with them. I'm going to come round and flick this major, and, well, actually, I can probably just see if they're off-ticked. I mean, that's about it, really. You can either come over here and flick these two, or you can flick these two. If you really want to, you can do something like this and just pray magic and attack this guy. And again, I've got 2 blowpipe specs. So I've taken some damage, let's brew. Let's brew again. You can do this kind of stuff too. So this is like the super easy solution if in doubt. It's just like, oh okay, Bastion pot. Took some damage, let's blowpipe spec twice. Got more brew at the ready, let's brew. And you can do this to survive, like if you have to. Completely fine. If you're just like at a dead loss, what you have to do. And that would count as like burning supplies to survive, and that's perfectly fine. So, if in doubt. If you don't have Augury, what do? You can use Rigor. Rigor is completely fine. This melee is not too scary. You can take a step down here, and this melee is never going to get through. I'll just kill the major and again brew if I have to. Now I pray melee and I just wait. No Rigor or Augury. Maybe work on getting Rigor before you do Cape. I can set up the melee trap here, if I want to. When Bastion, about 58 onwards, maybe like once or twice in the waves. Already committed? Okay. I mean, you don't have to use it. It just helps a little bit at the start. Oh, this is last guy alive, so... Gonna check it's on autocast. And just get our free HP. You move back so you have a longer range, and the last barrage you cast, you can like manual cast it like this, and then again instantly. And even if he dies, I get another barrage off, which heals me. That's all it is. Alright, Tankiron, Augurion. Barrage, and looks like I can stand still and just pray range. This pillar is still relatively healthy, it's really fine at this stage. So let's let everything drag in fully. Now I come back, I can hit this Nibbler. There's a Nibbler over there as well. I know this looks scary for the Major, but it is fine. Great. I want to get to the Major, so you can either off-tick them and just like come around. So like you watch it, attack, move, and you're fine. You can also come over here and kill the Ranger. It doesn't really matter what you do. And after this guy dies, it'll just be this guy left.
What's up? There's bananas.
But let's do the off-tick solution.
Fucking bananas.
Good morning, Greg. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, people. We're doing a little bit of a first cape help. You can watch the VOD for this one if you want to see it in full. There's 3 more full runs on YouTube if you want some more examples. But I'm going to do some different ones after this as well. Bro's dead. Off the pipe. Now we're scot-free home to Jads. So we have like 7 restores left at this stage. You really only need like 5 or 4 even, and again this is like 0 flicking, so... How come you didn't kill the Ranger off on the side that was attacking me? I always wanted to showcase a couple of solutions. There's often more than one way to do a wave. And in that case there was not really any reason to not try and off-tick them, if you're confident with it. I'm not saying first capers should do it, but I tend to try and show another solution that you can do as a first caper if you're not confident. But that's all it really is. Right, mages only, so we can just barrage the nibblers. And clean up with blowpipe. From this point onwards, there's no reason to take off rigor at all. Recommend pegs and lightbearer if confident in flicking? No. I recommend devout boots and ring of the gods. Always. It doesn't matter how good you are at flicking. Yeah. It finishes the wave better, it doesn't waste resources. If you're capable of it, or even if you want to try learning it, it's worth trying. Not a suffering? Nope. The only good setup is the one I'm running. There are no other good setups, period. Now, there are stuff that's not quite as good and that's fine, like suffering, but I would never recommend it. If you don't have it, then yeah, you can use Ring of the God. You can use Ring of Suffering. But it doesn't change that if you have the money for this kind of stuff, you should just get this stuff. That's it. Alright, and now Rig is going to stay on until the end of time. Let's brew once, drink restore once, come back down all the way to touch the end over here, and now we're going to Bastion once. The starting tile for Jad is always going to be here, which is 1 tile like away from its northwest side. And no one should have trouble with Jad, so should be chilling. We can tag with Bofa, we can tag with Blowpipe. Gonna make sure we get the prayers first. And now we're gonna finish up with Blowpipe. And we can just tag everything. You can do this little trick where you pray melee. Just take your time, gather them all up. And then run through. Oh, that's quite unfortunate. If you have them face spotted, or if you don't mind taking the damage, that's fine too. The only big benefit to this is that you can heal from them. But we're already full, so it doesn't matter. And again, Rigor stays on the entire time there. You don't have to muck with them at all. I guess I can just camp Burger. I can't really teach much for triples, it really is just nerves. We come to the center of the room roughly, it doesn't really matter where. And then we step in here, same as always. Camera angle needs to see behind Jad on this side of him, so that's why we use this camera angle. Doesn't really matter which one you kill first, but I recommend this one. Yeah, it's pretty common first hit strat. And now we're going to attack these guys one at a time using both of them. And very commonly in this spot, you'll get a healer stuck behind you. All you do is you take a run tile back, and they'll be stuck. In a lot of cases you can do that. You just run north, if in doubt. Let's use more restore, we got infinite supplies. This one was hitting me, and now it's not. I mean, that run through healer strat is a very common strat. All the cape guides tell it. People do it for regular jab too. Okay, let's get this guy. After we've tagged him, we can do the same thing and run back. Now this guy is on me and this guy is stuck on him. Pretty common even on first games. Both is really nice for Jads. Okay, let's run across. I'm gonna stand right next to it, same place as always. Keep sipping our restore. Whenever Jad's alive, try and keep your prayer book like very open. After the attack, go sip something, then come straight back to it and just sit on it. Will help a lot. There's lots of traps at Jad you can do. If you can gather them, you can also come and sit here, for example. This is a good trap. You have to pray melee, though. Or again. If you're used to Jad, you can, like, mess with him and do the run-through. And again, in this position, you can just heal. So if you get really low, you take a hit, you can do this to get some HP back and not waste brews. But honestly, if you have like this many brews, just brew. You're gonna use like 2 for Zuck, maximum. Okay. Let's brew. We're gonna keep Brigger on. Use Restore. We can even use Preserve, and a dose of Bastion here. You can stam liberally whenever you want to. You have pretty much infinite run for this entire thing. And ideally, we only get 1 set. So we're going to start by right-clicking him and just attack, follow the shield, first safe spot, attack, next safe spot, attack. And we wait for the attack, and after the first attack, we can move to the next one. These tiles in the center of the safe spots drag you, so if I stand here and shoot, I'll get dragged to the safe spot. There's the attack, so I go to the next one. Attack in between. And now we attack from here, wait for his attack, and move. On the safe spot, same thing. You can also move your like blowpipe to the left here if you want to. There's the attack. We can just move. Little movements, lots of controlled movements. Trying to stay on the leading edge of the shield. And now here, with Bofa, you can definitely tag the Major and tank the Ranger. I'm going to try and deal as much damage to it as possible until I get close to the Ranger. Okay. Now let's blowpipe Ranger. They are same ticked, but that's okay. I have blowpipe specs and brews. There's an attack. Let's use my spec. And again. Okay. And I got 99 HP back. So as long as we wait for HP to diminish a little bit before specking, should be fine. If I did take damage there, I would just brew and the problem's solved. We're keeping the Major alive until 600. When we get to 599, we can kill it. There's the attack, so I can start moving. Notice I'm just not touching my prayers. Just sip restore as required, and that's it. You can definitely let the mage just sit on shield, but to be honest, with this many brews, if you have this many, you can just do that. You can kill one at a time, you can... I don't know. There's so many ways to deal with it. Unless you're doing a pure cape, you're not going to take enough damage to make it be like a wallery anyway, so... Okay, that's under 600, so let's kill the mage. I'm just being like doing very careful little steps, that's all. Trying to stay on the leading edge of the shield. We can't attack it from over here, but we can now attack Zaryte again. Let's use a dose of brew. Dose of restore. Another bastion. Getting really comfy. And a dose of stam. Here's Chair. We can attack him with Bofa from both sides. And we're going to turn our camera. See the Zaryte attack go? And now we can move. You want to keep your prayer book open the entire time. There's the attack. There's the attack. We can move. You don't have to be exactly on the safe spot, you can be like a little bit next to it. Let's send a blood barrage on the middle healer and keep moving. Back on jab. Prayer book open the entire time, ignore these guys. Let's grab a super restore. There's the attack. Little movements is better. Don't like click really far, you're not sure where you are. Gad's dead, and now we go back on Zaryte. Our HP looks really good, that's fine. Let's take off our prayers. And now we're looking to get it close to 240, but not past it. So we've got to monitor his HP a little bit. We rarely ever wait for a second set. There's 310. My Bofa max it is about 50, let's say. So I can do a couple more hits. If I can proc from this side, that'd be great. One more hit, maybe. Not good still. I gotta keep going. There's a decent hit. Let's take Rigor off. He's 270. I can probably hit this. So now I gotta start thinking about being very careful because we're on 266. Let's restore. Rigor on. And now I can seek to proc healers on this side as this touches the edge. Okay, did that proc. Not sure. I'll get Bofa ready. It didn't. Now we gotta do another cycle. More stam. I'm just going to practice following this leading edge of the shield. When it touches the corner, I can attempt. Nope. Back again. You can probably get about 3 hits in if you're careful with your timing, even more if you have a Bofa, because you can tag healers with Bofa. But as far as set's concerned, I don't really care too much. If it comes up during healers, that's probably okay. I just have to tag one of them. There's healers. Okay, now we got to follow the shield, so we tag them all. Both are on if you want to, otherwise just pipe it. And we're just going to right-click them. Following the leading edge of the shield, blowpipe walking. We're going to duck into the edge for one attack, and then out on the next. And then we can follow this cycle all the way around. Blowpipe spec if you can get it. Good damage. And this is why the blowpipe walking skill is so important. Because you can annihilate them within like one full cycle. Now we brew. And we have to follow this shield. 115. Restore up. Bastion. And ignore safe spots. Safe spots don't exist. You have to be following the shield. These 4 tiles are safe though. So now we don't greed hits, we just go with the shield. Make sure you fully come into the corners when this works. Right. So if something spawns here, we do have to really kill it. If it gets to like sub 100 HP, I'd consider just tagging one and then hitting Zaryte. But even with 3 rotations for the shield, we've got plenty of time. This is missing ticks as well. Let's tag the mage. Following the shield, Grey Mage. And this ranger will take like over a minute to kill the shield. Like over a whole minute. So, nice and simple. Probably only the one wave back there that was like really anything crazy. But again, I think the solution to that was similar to the wave prior, where you literally just click the melee and pray rigor and use bruise and you're fine. So this is finishing with 4 and 4, despite not flicking the entire thing practically. Maybe like 2 waves. Yeah, that's it. So, hopefully a decent run. Got some nice stuff in there. We're going to go and do the sub 65 without chins, which is probably going to use 2 ancestral pieces. I quite fancy getting a task for it to show how good it is on task. But yeah, so I might do a little bit of tutorial to see if I can get one. And we'll do like a really standard sub 65, no chins, just like straight same stuff. But yeah, if you're interested in some more runs like that, they're on the YouTube. This run will also go up there tonight, or tomorrow morning maybe. And of course the VOD is available as well. Learning to alternate is really tricky. But you can sit on a blob wave and get really good at it. So despite that being like the hardest thing, I mean, you can practice it, so. Alright, let's see if lucky. I just completed a task, so there's a chance I get the back-to-back anyway. There should be. Ooh, okay. Sometimes lucky. Let me go re-gear, I guess. We'll do sub 65 first, then I'm going to do some speedies. Do you think it's worth doing sub 65 off task if you want to get sub 60 eventually down the road? Yes. It's certainly very easy off task if you want to just focus on hitting stuff. So, sure, I guess. But yeah, let me gear up for this. Actually, I'll go take a quick break, and then we'll come back and do it. Bofa is easier to deal with waves, but longer time. The Bofa gives you some solutions in that you can click bats and melees and stuff from afar, and nibblers. But Tbow is so much better for the mages that it reduces your time spent in the waves. But Bofa capes are definitely seen as probably trickier than they are because you have so many options for dealing with things. And Crystal is very tanky to range. So, yeah, you know, I don't know. Tbow is by far easier, but Bofa's not as bad as people think it is probably the answer. Alright, I'll grab a quick break. Sub 65, no chins, on task, which is... I don't think I've done any task runs, so this will kind of showcase the power. This probably is going to be too fast, but whatever. Alright. I kind of just realized, like, even if this is a fast run, it just showcases how easy it is to get, so I guess that's the big thing. Do you recommend taking Masuri Helm instead of Justy? Nope. Masuri equals damage, damage equals easy waves, tanking does not equal damage, equals NPCs alive, equals you die. TLDR, damage is key. Kill them before they kill you. Justy Helm doesn't help you with that. Right, gear. Ugh. Well, this is on task as well, so I'll cosplay and use my different Slayer helm. Devouts are still good for this, and so is Ring of the Gods. Max Cape plus Ring of Suffering is also completely fine. It's all right. We're gonna take, I guess, Ellie. I mean, to be honest, Ellie just doesn't make a difference, but sure. Kodai Blowpipe. Tbow Anguish. Vams. Actually, why don't we just like make this really interesting? What's it called? Worth bringing Holy Wrench? I don't know. I don't think so, but I don't know. I was thinking actually maybe just like emulate this run to be a bit simpler. I don't have a master one, sadly. I don't want to use the shitty ancient thing either. I don't know. I mean, if people are doing sub 65 GM, they have all the right gear, don't they? Maybe just no Ellie because it just doesn't matter. But the ward is not bad for this. I don't think I'd recommend it, but it's not bad. Crystal Shield is fine though. I'm gonna use Ancestral. This is silly. I think it's all okay. I'm not going to be too worried about it. For the sake of making this like easy and letting me showcase like good solves and things, I'm gonna take Ellie. It really is the smallest difference, but for prayer amounts it's nice. You could also just take Sandfuse and stuff. I want to kind of like show how easy it is to get sub 65, especially on task. Doing like the bare minimum, no chins, stuff like that, right? So let's get ready. With Missouri, should use Justy or Missouri Mask? Justy is completely pointless in the Inferno. At no point in time would anyone ever use Justy is the answer. Very, very, very bad. Right, we can also take one Divine, I guess? I don't really think it matters, but we'll take one Divine. There we go. So the standard setup, something like this. I think the only difference between this and a chin run is that I have chins. So instead of using chins, if you're not used to using them, then this is probably pretty nice. You take Ancestral top? Yeah. Why wouldn't you want to be fully potted? Fully potted? Wait, what for? What does fully potted mean? I mean, I'm pretty fully potted. Might be a problem you don't. You don't have to, but I would say dropping Ancestral top is something you do at like sub 60 at sub 55 level. Yeah, this is better. What about Lightbearer? Fellas, there is no gear that is better than what I'm using, I promise. Lightbearer is awful for the Inferno. It will throw you off big time. Right, one barrage, blowpipe. And the entirety of this run is going to be one ticking. Like, all of the run is one ticking. You can start relatively close to center as well. Not crazy, but relatively. Let's move towards this bet. Let's put Rigor on and start moving towards this bet. Once you're attacking it, you can start flicking properly, but until then, whatever. We start anywhere just like roughly central. Augury doesn't matter. And then into blowpipe immediately. Good. Just gonna make sure this guy's dead. And then Tbow on the way over. 219 is dead. Come up to him, switch your gear, barrage once, into the other gear, and finish up. 2 stems is also optional, but not really necessary. We can kill the bat here, just fine. But I don't know. It's hard to say, but like I imagine anyone doing sub 65 is a competent player, so I'm gonna play like a competent player, but not an amazing player is the idea. Simple stuff like just kill things when they approach you, really. Like the blobs when they do whatever. And just kill stuff. Rigor on. Like rigor appropriately. Run up to blobs and kill them. The 2 blobs. These guys should be no problem to work with. And you can always just Tbow as you approach them. This is completely fine. And try and have rigor on as much as you can. It's really hard to avoid like real speedrun tactics when doing this, but I'll try to avoid most of them. TLDR, kill stuff. Pick the middle niblet. Nothing up until we get to like the more interesting waves is gonna like, you know, be interesting at the end of the day. Kill nibblers. Kill melee. You can burn a blowpipe spec here as well, and you want to be in control of it. I'd recommend just clicking rigor for these guys. When should you switch from Amethyst to Dragon? If you've got to Zuck, say, once, then sure. Right. Just getting past some early waves. We're going to start always around Pillar. But depending on what the wave is, we might be more aggressive. So for example, like, there's a melee here, just pray melee and approach it. You can even use it to, like, trap the bats if you're careful. Or you can just kill it doesn't really matter. If in doubt, go kill the next thing. If you think something's dead, go kill the next thing. This position here is great. We're going to kill the bats first, always. You can bring melee and get this guy. So a lot of the time, the big time save is either going to kill stuff or letting it drag towards you. I've just drunk a brew, okay. Doesn't matter. So we're just hitting something, and then we're letting the melee come here. I'm gonna sip a dose of Bastion, because I obviously got rid of it. And I can do like a Kodai, Barrage, or Nibbler. Got plenty of time to do that kind of switch. Just to get rid of it. You can also go around and pipe it. One barrage and everything is quite far away. Let's get rigor on and start DPSing things. When the blob stops, I can switch my prayer for it. Now let's go on the melee. And now when the melee dies, we go after the blob. Still flicking the blob. Rigor does not come off. Maybe flick augury here? Rigor stays on during Inferno. It's true. One barrage into our proper gear and just start DPSing. There's a bat here, just kill it. Melee's getting close, pray melee. Let's go after this nibbler and keep hitting this melee. Let's go after this bat. Wait, right click this, check there's 2 of them. Third eye? Something like that. Maybe last switcher. Now we can come back. So we're just like roughly guessing sort of like how much HP things have. You can also blood barrage and you'll get your heals for the entirety of the Inferno from mini blobs. And just sip as required. Here, there's two of them, so let's use our prayers and flick the blobs. Let's run away from the melee while flicking the blob. And just run away, just run away. Keep flicking these blobs and just run away. And even this will die. You could also just go around the pillar. Now I'm going to come into the blobs with Tbows, because Tbow's good. And now we're flicking both of them as much as we can. I'm standing on the sides, like these sides here of the blobs. Want to finish with blowpipe? And instead of letting it come to the pillar, come to the blob. And just come and stand there. Hero him. One barrage. Sick. Now it's double melee, so we just stand still. One barrage. And clear up with pipe. Rigor on, maybe a blowpipe's back. That's all. Eldritch is useless for like everywhere in the game, unless you're an ult account. And just like, come and meet them, pray rigor. Nice and easy. And we're already at ranges after just like clicking stuff. Finish up with blowpipe. Lovely. And even for these waves, like if you know it's simple waves, just stand up front, be brave. One barrage, maybe chase the remaining one. Watch it die, go after the ranger, and just one ticket. Your major source of healing is blobs with blob barrage. Let's run back. One barrage wasn't very good. Let's chase it with rigor. Do the little switch, get these guys, and work on the bat. Still alive here. You can even Tbow to get to rangers like this. This is completely fine. If you have to get to anything long range, you don't have shins, so you may as well Tbow. And don't be afraid to use stam either. Like one dose for Zuck is plenty, but you can conserve it, great. One barrage. Let's get into line of sight of the ranger so I can click it immediately like this. Maybe go to that safe spot ahead of time. Looks like it's dead. Let's go on the bat. Sick. Let's run away a little bit here. I want to try and do something with this wave. Maybe if you're brave enough. Just go alternate. Take a second to assess is fine. Just don't like dilly-dally. I think even like Tbowing nibblers like this is probably fine. Try and get back, run over here and make sure it clumps, and then send it. That's about the worst wave, early wave you can get, where like nothing dies. Even that's fine. And you can barrage, like blood barrage, to get some healing. Let's chase this nibbler. West pillar nibblers we want to chase. Those are the ones that are a pain in the butt. Now we go after the blob when it dies. I'm going to stand right next to it here. Into our tank here. And back across. Maybe a dose of stam. Let's attack the blob. We got to do something. Let's just go for it. Stand in. Blob barrage middle one. Let's attack this. Free it up. And just keep attacking stuff. Third Eye Occult into the nibblers. That's perfectly fine. Now let's run up to the ranger. Another blowpipe spec. And some restore usage. Let's run away from everything. Try and get the blob flick. Maybe release this blob and attack it. Just kill something. Let's come this side of it and hit the ranger. And get ready for this guy. So some augury on this attack. Just dies. We're on task. Now let's go for this blob. If you can attack something while the blob is dying, all that much better, but it doesn't matter too much. One good barrage into our proper gear. Start clicking stuff. And more restore usage. We burn a lot of restore, but we do the waves really quickly. And unlike first games, we're going to be okay with starting on like 80 HP. We can always barrage these early waves. And now it's just a melee, so let's pray melee and clean up the nibblers. Look a bit of rigor. There should really be like no problem waves until 50s during this kind of stuff. We can release the melee like this. This is what we did on first game. Alternatively, come over here and kill him from this side. Trying not to free him from the corner of the pillar. Unfortunately, this run is potentially more boring than the first game, because it is just one-ticking the entire thing. Okay. We're about 1/6 of the way in. One good barrage, and guess what? It's time to click stuff. Kill one bat, kill the next bat. Go on the melee. The only way you make this run faster is like preparing. So for example, I'm as far across as I can be. If I was here, I could take another step east, for example. And then I get ready to click, and I get to move. A lot of the time save is being prepared to click the next NPC. Oh. Deserved. So we took a bit of damage. We can either brew it back or we can heal it back. Let's try and heal it back. Let's go click the ranger. And now back off and maybe click the melee. Cool. I can see they're off tick. You should be comfortable flicking something, and it will die anyway, so that's okay. Maybe a blowpipe spec to get some HP back, and more restore usage. Let's go across, Tbow, and swap pro. You can smooth that up if you want to. Stand in close, mage pray, barrage. Not a good barrage, let's do one more with augury this time. Much better. We need to heal. Oh, let's pray range. And let's duck behind to get these guys out of the way. Blowpipe on. Wait for the bat for a second is fine. Let's go after the bat. Now let's go after the nibblers. And alternate. I think I'm alternating backwards. Okay. If in doubt, go back and eat brew. Sometimes you can just make mistakes. We're going to heal up from blob. I'm going to get ready to attack the ranger. Another blowpipe spec. So this method of healing, just like lots of pipe specking with rigor, full on gear, and then healing from both these guys and mini blobs is perfect. Let's go after the bat. And now let's DPS this melee. They are same thick. You can go underneath. Like this. Or you can just tank it and hit and use brew. The name of the game is speed, and that's all that really matters. Range coming out here. Good barrage. And more one ticking. This is like a standard sub 65 on task as a way to like show people that it's very easy and it's sort of like super easy to try and do, I guess. It's just rigor the entire time, click stuff, and try and get into a position that is going to help you click stuff. Now this melee is coming around, so we pray melee. And I'm going to use just blowpipe to clear every single thing here. And this is a perfectly fine solution. You can also do this. This is the melee blob flick. Anyone sub 65 capable is able to do this. And this catches most blob hits. And remember, taking damage is fine. We're going to get it back. Missed to cancel it. Let's get ready to go after the blob. Might do like a Kodai, a Cult, and attack. Just to try and get that since it's far away. No chins. And I'm still going to treat this blob the same as if it died normally. We're going to stand here and just barrage it. 151 usually means mage is alive, and it is. Let's go after it. Bit of pre-thought as to what's alive is great. Our bastions ran out. Let's take another dose. And blood barrage. Let's go click the ranger. These guys are stuck. Now you can come out pretty far. You can come out over here and he still can't escape. So when this guy's nearly dead, I'll free the melee. How about now? Let's free the melee now and go after the nibbler. And then clear up the ranger. And now we can go back in and take hits. And they just die so quickly. I gotta get control of this guy in case he digs. Now I have control of them both. Now I just kill. Good. This is double ranger wave, so let's be aggressive. One more barrage. These guys are both through. Cool. Now it's major only, so let's be brave. Oh, well, not yet, but nearly. Next wave. Okay, now it's major only, so let's be brave. Tbow on. Now, it doesn't really matter where you attack from. I recommend keeping mage play on flicking rigor for safety. If you want to, like, save some time, you can run towards the major while attacking, and kill it from one tile away. This reduces the travel time of your arrow, so it'll sort of land a lot quicker. This is like a very easy time save that you can do at any level. Okay, back on pillar. And just hide. Let's go around the pillar, and maybe attack this bat. Oh, careful. Let's attack this bat for a second, and then pray mage, and come out. We just want to hit something, it doesn't matter what we hit. Just gonna flick rigor and attack. Got to 41, 46, 51, and triple jazz for your first 3 attempts. That good? Yes, that's insane. People don't get the trips for like weeks, my friend. So if you're getting there after 3 attempts, you're gonna get a cape in like a day and a half. One barrage. Let's see what's going on. Let's isolate the major. Gonna have rigor on during this. Let this bat attack us. If this bat can attack us, we can attack it without being dragged. That's how you know. Wait for a nice XP drop. There it is. Let's go attack the major and pray mage. And blowpipe on the nibbler to finish up. Oh, bats respawned. Just kill it. There we go. We're going to be 1 tile away from it like this. And just flick rigor. So outside of 1 tick alternating for rangers, you can also do it for mages if you're comfortable, but I really just recommend just flicking rigor. It's too strong. It's too strong, you use like no prayer at all. Great. Proper gear on. Blowpipe in here. 1 barrage and let's see what happens. Okay, just isolate the blob. Hit the major. Like we're hitting, what, a 60 with that rigor. Okay. And we're only 107 potted. We can kill this while moving up. 2-way. And attack. Now let's move across there and try and clump these guys. Ah, that was terrible. Let's try again. Good. This start tile is very good for these kind of speeds. 1 attack. Let's go back. We want to get this major dragon just a little bit. There we go. So you can just wait here and let it drag. And it's fine. I am on task here. Some more restore. Get ready to attack next. It just dies so quickly in the task. This is like Masuri is ridiculous. And we can let this bat come around the pillar as well. I'm gonna kill this bat first, get ready for it. No efficiency required. Just make sure these guys are clumped is the big thing. Crystal Shield makes no difference to the run whatsoever. The only reason why I'm using it, we're going to let the Major Dragon for a second and then go after him. The only reason why I'm using Ellie is because I want to take time like explaining waves and not flicking so I can talk about stuff. If you don't have Ellie, Crystal Shield all the way. Crystal Shield is the same as Ellie, sometimes better than Ellie. But yeah, it really doesn't matter. Making sure he dies. Let's go after this first bat. There's nibblers over there, so we're gonna have to get them eventually. Let's try and catch this bat. Kodai, just do a two-way switch, like Kodai and Occult, and then go after them. And it usually kills them like that. One Barrage, decent XP drop, finisher. I have Slayer XP disabled. Okay. Blood Barrage if you get below like 18. Let's flick these blobs. And now let's click the Major and alternate. This is the best gear you can take. The ward is like, maybe okay, but doesn't really matter. You could probably take the ward if you don't have an Ellie, and you're doing sub 65 no chins, but it's like very specific. Instead of like waiting for the attack to hit and alternate, just go. Just attack instantly. Blood Barrage for HP. Go around. If you want to, you can even blow pipe up here. This is good. If you can do this kind of stuff. Back on the blob, and just stand next to him. Propagera, Blood Barrage. You can even put on Masuri top mid-cast if you want to tank. But you see, like, we're letting our HP go down to 80, then we're healing. Like, 80 heal, 80 heal. We're not healing all the time. Like, 91 right now, Ice Barrage. This guy's stuck, attack Major. There's two there, so I can get my inventory close to the nibblers. And after the Tbow attacks, I can do attack, like that. So you can make your life very easy as well by just moving your inventory for stuff. Whatever you're attacking, your inventory should be close to like this. Or be at least accessible. Let's release the melee. We've shown that trick a few times now. From here I can Tbow, this is 3 tiles out. And get control of it again. Crystal or ward is fine, it really makes no difference. This is a bit tricky because there's no way to really get to the Major without killing the melee, so we can just drag the melee over maybe, and then hide behind the pillar. Now the Major can't see us and we can kill it. Alternatively, if you don't want to kill that, you can kill the bat, very melee, and then come across. This is now a corner trap. And you can stand like, you know, these tiles are fine. You can't quite reach those. But maybe you can with Barrage, actually. Let's try Barrage. You can reach it with Barrage without releasing the melee. Melee digs? Okay, let's just run. Run. Keep DPS and just run. If you find a nice tile, great, go to it. DPS is the name of the game for this. Always focus DPS in. One Barrage. Let's go to Bat safe spot, because... Oh, maybe the Bat... Oh, okay. We hide behind the pillar for a second. Major comes closer. Now we can hit him without being in a weird spot. Masuri or Justy, always Masuri. Justy's awful. Now the melee's gonna dig, and we gotta be aware of that. If you want to get it, like right now, you could run up into it, which would be great if you want to, but it's about to dig in like 3, 2, 1, now. Wow, magic trick! So it's not really any point. Sometimes your timing is just bad and you can't help it. Okay, let's drag stuff in. Just sometimes for these waves, if everything is far away, just pause for a second, let it get closer. Now you can alternate it. Pausing for 5 seconds per wave is fine. The only way you don't get a sub 65 is if you wait for about 2 minutes per wave. And now let's kill the melee. You want him to not move? Okay, take a melee hit. Just keep clicking. And now we're 88 HP. Let's try and Barrage, put our tank gear on. 99, hopefully we don't get hit. Fantastic. One barrage. Let's flick this blob. Now let's go around the pillar and alternate. You see how quickly we're just setting up alternations, one after another. And there's no way to worry about the melee dig. It's not going to dig on us before this guy's dead. Let's release the bat, pray range for a second. And we can Tbow into the blob. We can do some fun stuff here. Why not? When you get like crazy positions like this, often or not you can clump and do some like mega barrage. Not so lucky this time around. And again, just see how little damage we're taking doing anything. We're out of Bastion. Let's Bastion up again. Okay. In times like this, if you're early enough, you can corner trap, and you can even release it. And then when you're ready... Oh, I messed up the timing. Well, if you're not shit at timing, you can do that. But if in doubt, run over here. Running here fast enough means you can set stuff up, or alternatively, even a better solution, just stand from here, come back down one, and just kill it. Just to get rid of it. You should camp 50 spec minimum. You don't need 100. So you can use like a spec here if you want to. I mean, specs are great if you need to get a bit more healing, but it's not the end of the world if you use it all. It only matters like 50 plus to start camping spec. Okay, this is actually a nice wave. You come around this side, you just pray mage, and then you find an alternation cycle. This side traps melees. Ooh. Okay. I'm just gonna keep clicking something. Doesn't matter what it is. You pray against the thing that you think is gonna hit you, rather than like a definitive prayer. You kind of ignore the concept of playing very safely here, and you just click stuff. Finish with blowpipe. Lovely. Two melees over there, let them drag in. These runs are very chill. Now we want to get control of melees. Let's take a hit from this guy. And let's come around this side of the pillar and take a hit from this guy. Chaining our attacks. And now we have control of both, they're not going to dig. Doesn't waste us time. Lovely. We've used about 5 resources to get here, we have double that to get through the remaining, and we're over halfway. From this point onwards, we don't use... we shouldn't really start waves with Ancestral top, just start waves with Masurion. And if a melee mage is over there, back here. 1, 2 attacks in. 2 movements in, and I go. This tile here is your favorite friend for speedruns, especially early wave speedruns, or early PB speedruns, you know, whenever you get into this. And again, just flicking rigor. Completely ignore your pillars, the only one that matters is North Pillar. Often you'll have too much HP on pillars, and you just want them to die. It does matter a bit to get...
You would make a mean pizza with those arms.
Hello, Shorty. So we start with our propagator on.
Hey man, just want to say a massive thank you for your guide. You've been a huge help for me learning Inferno. Before watching you, I was constantly being at wave 55-ish. Today I just made it to the Jad spawn at Zoop, and I would have gotten it if I was paying more attention to the shield during Jads. Peas was the first time getting past wave 63 and I made it that far. Thank you so much for all your info, bro. Love you, Lola.
For fuck's
Trout
sake.
Gang 2222.
Yeah, something like that. Alright. Thank you, Shawnee, I think. For the save, all I did was, like, come across here, wait for the major to pull in, and then go click the major. You can't quite click him when he's over this far, so don't bother. I'm gonna Blood Barrage now. It's an okay number. I can even Tbow this bat. Completely fine. So, a wave like this, even on speedruns, you can give it a bit of time to settle and figure out what's going on. In this case, I can come and off-tick them by going across. We know this off-tick. This off-tick is really nice. I showcase it quite a lot. It's a very good early speeds off-tick. And just Camp Brugger if you're not sure about flicking. Like this. Let's use more restore. We should have plenty. If in doubt, you can always drop a brew or two. Getting the inventory close to these guys so I can do this little procedure. Get some more heals, and now we're 99. Tank gear on. I don't really care about using Augury either. Use another Dose of Bastion. I didn't actually mean to click the Dose of Bastion, but that's fine. I'm gonna try and keep the Ranger alive. And you can alternate this, you can two-tick this, whatever you like. Sad, surely. No more nibblers. It might just be the same, except a bit faster. I don't really know. One barrage, click the... Oh, in this case, no need to, like, do anything. We're going to come back to another save spot, send the barrage, and then begin reflicking the blob. So these waves are quite simple, there's not really much to showcase. Other than use Rigget. Not a good barrage, let's try again. Let's use a blowpipe spec. Just one. Not great, okay. So now we can blood barrage next wave. Oh, I took my prayer off, we're fine. I've got brews as well, so... If you have excess prayer, you can do, and it is good. But it's really not a make or break thing. Another option is to start with Rigor on, which is fine too. You can do this though. I'm gonna come and duck behind the pillar. Kill this bat maybe with a blowpipe spec. 99 HP. You should never bring Eldritch, ever. It's just a bad item. So 91 HP, you can send a Blood Barrage in. In these later waves, instead of like an 80 HP threshold, you can do a lesser one. We've got the two blobs to work with. And in this stage, just like flick the blobs and get the cycle right, so... Just be confident to ignore blobs. Rigor on the entire time. Doesn't matter if you take some hits or anything. Infinite prayer sounds good. The goal of a sub 65 speedrun is to complete the Inferno within 65 minutes. In what way does Eldritch speed up the run? That's the problem. Eldritch slows down the run. And I already have Infinite Prayer. So why would I bring an item? Why would I bring an item to give me Infinite Prayer when I have an Infinite Prayer? That would be what I consider a waste of an item. I mean, you know, do you see me sort of flicking prayers during this run, I guess? That's the thing. Even for first capers, it's really, really bad. I just did a run. I finished with 4 restores and I did not flick. That's the main thing. These kind of waves with Northside mages are great. You can always come out and kill these guys. And letting melees pull down like this is actually very beneficial because you can control them. But yeah, even for first capers, it's just a big noob trap. Okay, he dug. Let's go click something else. My range level is 106. Time to start using a Bastion since we've reached Ranger, Major, and Melee. And I'll use a Levite Spec here to heal. It probably isn't necessary, but 99's fine right now. Okay, Augury Arm, 1 Ice Barrage. And looks like it's going to be the Ranger that we get caught up with, so let's just get our Blowpipe on and start attacking him. Yes, we want to kill the melee, the Major first, but to just attack something is fine as well. Now this guy's here, let's kill him. We want to get to the Major, so he's in the way. Gonna do my 2-way, and go. Blowpipe on. Lovely. How many restores should you have used? It doesn't matter. So, the reason why it doesn't matter is because you bring a set amount in with you, and you can't control how much you use. If you can control how much you use, i.e. like flicking better, then that's fine, you can do that. But like, you have to use what you have to use. So my rule is, whenever you need to use it, use it. If I'm at 50 prayer, use it. You can't control that, so it doesn't matter how much you use. Does that make sense? You don't get a choice in it. It's just whatever you use, you use. Because if you don't use it, you'll die. So here we're just going to DPS this melee down, and preferably the bat if it would like to die. We can do our 2-way, and cast a kill this. And now you have to learn some of these solves. So you may get stuck on solves like this, but you got to come out here. We can test it if you're not sure during the run, like so. Oh, he just respawned. If he respawns something like a melee, I'd recommend just killing it. Really focus it down because it can cause issues with the spawn. And again, we can just test. You can take a bit of time and just test it. We're in the hard waves. We do have a Divine running, but I can always just save like 1 or 2 doses for Zuck and that's fine. So if I need to brew at any time, just brew. We still have 6 restores despite not flicking at all. We can use Blood Barrage here as well. This wave is entirely free. Blowpipe on. Let's kill this Nibbler. And the goal is to kill this Major before the Ranger digs, before the melee digs. If it does, we can just come over here. We have a plan. Blowpipe to finish if required, it's not. Let's set up a melee trap here nice and quickly. And now we can use it. This guy's stuck. We've got a pretty melee coming out. And we're not quite 99, so we could also Blood Barrage. Okay, let's pray melee. Put our gear on and just attack. This is a stack, but the blob is irrelevant, so we pray against the back NPC. The bat's gonna come down here. Let's go to our Nicholas A spot. I can even Tbow this guy if I want to, just get rid of him. Occult, thing on. Cast it, just get rid of it. Let's get ready for the stack. I'm out praying range and alternate. Any respawns you know what to do? Keep alternating. At the end of this, we can just pray range and try and catch a blob flick if it's there. Killing stuff behind it is really nice. You can always find some stuff. This isn't really like sub 65-esque, but you can do some mega shit like this. That's Blowbite spec. Okay, let's start brewing. We're like pretty low HP. 2 brews. Restore. Another dose of restore. Divine Bastion. I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna Blowbite spec this bat. We want to kill this major ASAP, otherwise the melee is going to cause problems. We are divines, so should die nice and quick. There's the blob attack, come around. And by the time this melee digs, no problems. Now I do have to kill the ranger, so we'll try and do that. They are nice and off-ticked as well. If not, I would have taken like 1 attack, no problem. Big barrage hit. Lovely. Let's corner trap the ranger immediately. Okay. Click the blobs for a second. Now let's kill the ranger. Alternating. This is a tricky way. You want to get to the major, but you can't really get there because it's being gate kept. So unless you know how to off-tick all these guys, just kill something. Now we can go after it. But again, killing something, Biss. We can do our standard trap here, and we're just gonna kill this guy as well. While taking the blobs, of course. I'm gonna put on my mage gear, come across, finish up these guys, hopefully. One more flick and back round. Let's kill off this guy. Don't worry about your pillar at this stage, it's nearly over. Maybe worry a bit if you Tbow noodles this much, but it should be fine. Oh, great. I'm just gonna Tbow it. There we go. And we're gonna heal up off all these blobs. Maybe another one. And of course we have brewer at our disposal if needed. Augury on. 2 melees, okay. Just Tbowing it to get rid of it again, it's like completely fine. And let's just kill. This guy's kind of stuck, so let's kill this guy and then go around the pillar, because he'll still be stuck. You can just look at something and see whether or not it's going to get to you. The big thing to hide from is the major, not the melees, though. If the melees comes towards you, you don't hide from the melee, you hide from the major. At this point, one barrage and just instantly hide from everything. This is a great one because the mage just drags in. You can go to Nibbler safe spot. You can do that, whatever you fancy. This pillar looks a bit scary, but we've been letting it just kind of die, so there's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, I don't know. These runs are very smooth if you just consider killing anything that annoys you, to be honest. An NPC in your way? Not sure how to handle it? Click it. Problem solved. And the only time I'm really flicking, there's maybe one taking ranges and that's it. You could drop even like 2 brews and take 3 or so if you're comfortable doing this kind of stuff. Comfortable doing the switches to heal off the blob. Heal off the nibblers, of course. And now that it's just the mages, you can even do a bit of speedrun tech and make sure this guy takes some pillar damage, which is always good fun. Come on, pillar! Looks like he's gonna potentially die from this if it's a big enough hit. Maybe? Oh, unlucky. Run towards, remember to stand next to them where possible. And the speedrun system for sub 65 Jads is no different from that of First Cape. Don't bother standing one tile away, just stand on the same tile here. Dose of brew. Another dose of brew. Got infinite at this point. Like 2-2 is fine at this point, so if you have anything more, you're great. And we have a divine running, so we can just use our regular. Oh, I've attacked once more, but I'm just gonna barrage these guys. And then I'm gonna blood bite these two. So as long as you're potted here and you're clicking Jad and all that's good, roughly center. Jad die, come and stand here. Grab book open. Should have nice healthy HP. And we'll use Tbow to tag this. And blowpipe for this guy. And we can run away, same as the first Cape stuff. Maybe misprayed there. Come through the Jets, doesn't matter which one you really go for, here or here. Please shake hand. Yeah, make sure not to miss your prayer. I don't think people really get nervous during sub 65, not like to the extent of First Cape, to be honest. I'm sure there is some though. Alright. If you stand still like this, when this guy gets to you, now you can move back and trap him. The hardest part of succeeding at sub 65 is not falling asleep. Got a grow up and start trying? Yes, sir. It's real fun once you get into it too. The further you push yourself with Inferno, the more like interesting it gets. So for single Jad, you can like even come up and just pipe them all. You can run through Jad, you can just come off to a side like this, and as long as they're all on one side, you're safe, you know, there's loads of options. Alternatively, just tank them, you got like 15 brews, so it's okay. Just don't forget to pre melee. Sick. Route to 115. Rigger on permanently. Super restore. Rigger's been on like the entire run and I still have excess. Divine here, I got 3 dose there, I got a stem I can sip right now. That's it really. We're probably gonna have to Tbow the healers to tag them, that's about it. Any difference. Rigor stays on. Attack from the safe spots. If you're doing sub 65, you probably have like 3, 4, 5 KC, so you know that after the attack you can move, step here or here, and you'll get dragged. Yeah, Turiel's definitely a pain in the butt for speedies. Master makes it bearable, but you can definitely like dip your toes in the water of Inferno speeds at any point in time, even with one task. You can even do off-task speeds if it takes your fancy, but you know. So we're going off to the left, and on the left there's going to be a major. With this amount of brew, and you should be completely fine, especially with blowbite specs and stuff, I recommend just killing it. Mage prey on, and you'd be surprised how quickly this thing dies. The chances are it'll die before I even get to the ranger. About 50% of the time, anyway. I can get 1 more hit in here. I can probably get 2 more hits in here. I'll get 1 more hit. It looks scary, but you can do it. And, okay, well I didn't get it, so let's tag the ranger. And come across and attack. I will tank the ranger because I'm in Missouri. And now we're on Zuck. I have 5 brews. If I take damage, I just brew. Restore. Nearly under 600. And I also strongly recommend a Jad skip. You don't have to. Let's use 1 blowpipe spec. That's enough to get us to 99. Let's use a dose of Brute, dose of Restore, dose of Bastion. And whenever Jad spawns, we tag him. I really think Jad skipping for sub 65 is something you can learn as both a fun thing and an easy thing to do. All you do is you don't attack Jad and just pray against him. If in doubt, pray range. And we're looking to proc healers, so I get like 2 more hits. Use another dose of stem. Want to be a bit more careful with the shield at this point. Good place to proc if I hit big twice here. There's once. That's 240 exactly, and I've noodled, so we just continue on. More restore. Give it a second to go in. There's a proc. 1 tag, 2 tag, Tbow 1. Walk the shield, Tbow again. And now we attack, same as first game. And all we do is I keep our prayer book open. And we just watch Jad. We still come into the corner. We'll do all the normal stuff. There's the range brick. Blowbite specs if you can get them. And don't forget to look out for Jad. At the end of the day, if you want to kill him, that's completely fine. Let's brew. So I'm just brewing and bastioning the entire time. And we really are going to use all of our supplies. Anything you have left, get to max HP, full everything. Bastion up. And try and keep your camera on Jad as well. Helps a lot. Wow, no way. So that is meant to be a sub 65 and it's a sub 55. No chins, just like hitting stuff. You don't have to kill them if you don't want to. You can leave 1 healer, you can leave 2 healer, you can do a partial healer skip. You can just kill them all, you know.